Everyone, welcome to Trader TV Live. Futures in positive territory here. The NQ above 1/3% to start the day. Likewise with the ES up 1/4%. The Dow and the Russell all in positive territory right now. Bitcoin decidedly, about a 1/4 point in the negative, but above that $68,000 area. Lots to talk about today at Dare. We've got Tesla in the headlines as Elon Musk adds $26 billion to his net worth, as well Apple in focus as well in China, coming back with good iPhone sales there, but they also caught a downgrade from KeyBank Capital, Meta catching an upgrade, and some of the Chinese EVs also in play. But we do have a number of durable goods coming out.
We do have durable goods. So we've got durable goods here month over month, actually a little bit higher here than expected. So we were looking for a negative 1% print. We got negative 0.8%. So durable goods month over month for September, negative 0.8% versus flat previous number and negative 1% expected. Durable goods ex transport, positive 4% here versus the previous print of positive 5% and consensus of negative 0.1%. So basically higher than expected for both durable goods and core durable goods on a month over month basis. The only other economic data we have will be the Michigan consumer sentiment prints. I'll give you those at 10 a.m.
Yeah, so building on what we were just talking about there, Tesla in focus today as Elon Musk getting a huge rally on the Tesla stock yesterday, over 20% in the green. Separately, though, news coming out that he has been having discussions behind the scenes with Vladimir Putin, that being released by the Wall Street Journal today. So we'll keep tabs on that to see if it has any effects on Tesla stock. Separately, we mentioned Apple as well. That was in play as it got a nice little boost there with its Chinese with basically being number 3 now in, the top 5 in China with respect to iPhone sales, but it also did catch a downgrade from KeyBank Capital, so a bit of a tough situation there, down 0.5%, guys. Lots to talk about today. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. We got Sharif and Adara on the desk. Brennan getting a deserved
I like that
day
That's
break.
A nice sweater there. I like the ties.
You know what?
Got different things on the ties.
No, it's just one's backwards.
Oh, one backwards. I thought it was like one was black and one was brown.
Yo, that would be that's actually ill if it was like that.
That was pretty dope.
No, there's zero planning in that whatsoever. But it is a hoodie. It is a hoodie Friday though.
It is. I didn't realize that Elon was doing all this stuff. I mean, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about yesterday, where if, the conservatives get in, we've talked about him jumping around on stage with Donald. What does this mean for potentially his role moving forward? No, I'm serious. Like, I don't know.
I mean,
are we nervous as shareholders?
Here's the way I look at it. If last quarter is the culmination, look, you had the price wars and all that stuff with Tesla, and everybody had to cut costs and margins were trimming and everyone was doubting them, and a couple of bad quarters. If the end result of the post-X Tesla is what we got yesterday, being able to weather all of that storm and be able to come out of it on top, then I guess I'm not really all that worried. Like, I think at some point, it's been proven that whatever's happening is working there regardless of anything else. So I'm not terribly concerned by it. I think it might, there might be some bamboozlement here and there with sentiment and how they affect the stock. Like what happened on
bamboozlement.
No, but on on the RoboCab day, right?
Yeah,
like during the event, anybody trading it or looking at it live, it was incredibly strong. All the reaction was positive in the trading sense. And then it was just a huge gap down after the fact and all this negativity after it, when really during the event, most of the action was positive. At least that's what the trading was telling you. So look, Tesla, it's going to be day 2. It's a Friday today, which I think makes some of the even levels a little bit more important. I don't think you want to stray too far away from, if we get to 250, are we really losing 250 on a day like today? 255, 260, especially closer to that close. I think you're going to try to hug around some of those prices. So I think it makes it a little bit easier on a Tesla in a day 2. And yikes, CAPRI. That's one of those. I remember when everyone's like, oh, ATVI, that deal's going to go through. And if you bet on it, you did really well, because a lot of times it was giving you 20, 30% premium if you bet that deal going through. CAPRI was the same thing. It was giving you probably 25, 30% premium if you were betting that deal happening with Tapestry, and now it's down 50%. So that's the thing. Like, those bets is like, it wins. If it wins 80, 90% of the time, great. But, and those deals that aren't certain, if it loses, you get rugged. And FTC wins
So
again.
are you telling me that they couldn't secure the bag?
Oh, I'm on the wrong page.
I mean, all right. Shout out to Russell Jackson right here, one of our original members of Trader TV Live. He's got the sweater on. Thank you so much, Russell Jackson, for gifting 5 memberships right there. And yeah, man, we still have
it.
Vegemites.
Russell is still here. There he
It's
is.
Kawartha Dairy in the house.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. Today we should get get brisket then.
Like,
now brisket.
What's going on here?
We'll have to be maybe we could do a brisket.
Done deal?
Say something to Andre. Yeah, we'll risk it for the brisket.
There we go.
Andre, we need to do some video clips. Risk it for the brisket for lunch.
To play today.
Pizza and beer Friday. I mean, that can also
That'll work.
be negotiated.
That'll work.
Oh man. Yeah.
I'm down with that. Pizza and beer. Although we do pizza night at my house tonight, so usually.
Oh, it'll be different. You guys don't you make the pizza, or do you guys order in pizza?
Okay, so candidly, my wife is away on a business trip,
okay.
We'll probably be ordering pizza today.
Boo, Neil. Come on, man, you can negotiate that.
No, I usually actually, there's a place, Piziani. There's a place in locally to us, and we used to do every once in a while Domino's, but I don't feel like going out and shopping and getting ingredients when I get home, so I'm just not going to do it.
We're missing Ram right now. You might have to hit up the board.
Dun dun dun.
In a minute. The poor Fabian's over there riding solo over there right now. The Chilean nightmare. But he's such a professional. We have Michael Noss coming up soon. Throw over to my screen because we talked about yesterday.
There's nobody there. Nobody home.
Oh, there's nobody there. Okay, Randy, get over there, Randy.
Save the day.
I would love a coffee, although I did just get one, but I would take another one for sure. And then brisket, 2 orders and 3 orders, and we'll take
all the brisket.
What's your Tesla doing? Did you see what Tesla was doing yesterday, man? People did not believe. Yeah, yesterday was ridiculous. This is FXI.
11 years.
Best
day in 11 years.
Yeah, no, it's its best day ever. So it was its best day in 11 years, as we mentioned yesterday. But the thing is, its next best day was its IPO day. So it actually was its best day pretty much ever.
True trading.
Right there, boom. Yeah, just a little pullback into 215 there, and then it finally based out in and around that 215. Then up yesterday, touched in and around that 260, did break it, up to 262 right at the end of the day. We did have that break, but then look where it stops, right? I mean, sometimes these levels are undeniable, like all the time. Like that's 1, 2, 3, and then a dead stop there yesterday. So we'll see if we can get through these levels today. I don't think we get up to 270 today, and you're pulling back just a little bit. There will be profit taking here, but this low of the day, we're going to get to Tesla, believe me on that one, guys, but this low of the day of 255 right here could come into play. If we break that, then I could see a key psychological level of 250 coming in, so we'll get her done on that. But yeah, thanks, Fabian. We'll go over, I was going to show you, I mean, we could do it right now. I don't know. We have not much to cover. There's no economic numbers anymore until 10 o'clock. So yesterday, these were the top 10 traders. Whoopsies. Yesterday, I actually thought it would have been a little bit more than this, to be honest with you. Amex, New York, and NASDAQ, whoever was trading that market, 24,000. These are all going to be US dollars, of course. And then someone in Canada did really well. Obviously, they're 10, 11 grand in Canada yesterday. NASDAQ, probably big Tesla trader. And then a NASDAQ New York guy was 6 grand. Hong Kong, see, this is just showing you, we sit here at Real Trading, the benefit of prop, right? I mean, you can trade 12 hours, get your rest, get back to sleep, take another 4-hour nap, start trading in China. Amex, Chicago, CME, New York, NASDAQ. Oh, there's another Hong Kong as well. So some of these traders you'll see will be from the same offices.
Yeah, that's almost a lock.
Friends that, trade similar markets and just get it done. So there you go. That's just what's making, or who was and making some of this yesterday at Real Trading. Nothing wrong with that. And those are real numbers, right? These aren't just numbers that people are posting up on YouTube and showing accounts and all this kind of stuff. That's just a generated email that comes from Real Trading. So yeah, we'll show you those numbers. Unfortunately, they don't. And this is the other side of prop trading. I don't know the low side of those numbers and what the downside is, but the advantage of working for a prop firm floor like a Trade the Pool or like here at Real Trading is, of course, the fact that you'll have risk management. Yeah. So you won't be allowed to lose. Like whoever made that 23,000, their stop, I mean, unless their stop is huge, which I don't.
Almost no chance
Almost
it's
no
over
chance
20.
it's that big because we don't see those numbers. Generally speaking, you'll be able to lose roughly what you can make on average in a day, like depending on where you work with. But that's generally the idea there. So someone that makes 23,000 probably has a couple $1,000 stop.
Likely, because it would have been like if you have an outlier day in Tesla, say like Tesla was like 4x their best day, their stop is probably 2 to 4.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's not unbelievable to have a 5 or 10.
Yeah, that's possible.
Your day. Like if your stop is $200, you could make 1,000.
That's well, lots of traders have done that.
Yeah.
Well, when you're a trainee, well, it's probably a little bit different now. I'm just trying to remember back to when I was like a lot of trainees. When you graduate, you have to make $3,000 in a month. Back then, it was like $150 a day basically. And when you get to that point, usually you're still on a less than $100 shutdown, and you're averaging $150 a day, typically speaking. So for most traders, so usually it's those outlier days are fantastic. The good thing about it is a rolling total, right? So it changes every like 14 days. It takes all the 14 trading days, and then it's a rolling total for calculation purposes, which I think is very important. Look, there's a lot going on this morning. I love the fact that, I mean, the future just got right back to the top, and the ES, this is the ES, look at yesterday's high, look where we are right now. This is the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's already through the top, so it looks like a little bit of a bullish start to said day. Didn't have a lot in terms of economic numbers, but yeah, pretty good looking start already after we got that durable. It's already pressing some of those highs. I guess the ES lagging because tech had the big bounce, and I think tech is going to lead the way. I mean, Tesla, obviously. Maybe NVIDIA finally breaks that 142. I don't know what to tell you. NVIDIA, 138 support, 142 resistance. Literally the same thing as yesterday. But a lot to cover. Let's get back up to the desk.
We're going to talk about some electric vehicles. Faraday futures, Neil, up 20%. Well, was up 20%, up 17.5. Now looks like they're going to make a deal with the Emiratis in the UAE. They're looking at opening up a future headquarters in a city called Ras Al Khaimah. I won't expect you guys to be able to pronounce that properly, but it's all good. Looks as if, they're looking at opening up the facility there for their future production. Obviously, it comes at a time where electric vehicle manufacturers really need money, Adara, so this is an interesting look here.
I mean, we know Lucid has done a lot of the same thing, and if you look at this chart for Faraday Future, it does look a lot like the typical smaller cap type name because we do have a $22 million market cap for this company. They did also recently undergo a 1-for-40 reverse split, but other than that, it's the typical thing you see with these small cap gappers, a big spike up, some downside movement. So we'll have to see what happens here. Faraday's had quite a lot of announcements of different collaborations over the years. I know at one point they also collaborated. They gave a vehicle to one of the guys from Selling Sunset, that Netflix reality show. So they're certainly good at finding ways to stay in the news and stay relevant. Let's see if this UAE deal can give them some nice liquidity there.
Here's one of their looking cars over here, guys. What do you think about this one? I know Randy was a big fan of this one over here. This is like the 4-door hatchback. Anyway, Fabian likes it. What say you guys on Faraday?
It's so much that you left it up for like 1.2 seconds there, so no one could get a really good look at it. There we go.
I think they all don't.
I mean,
all these things look the same.
Yeah, it doesn't look. It doesn't look bad.
What does that cost again?
Yeah, how much? I don't know if I like the trunk. It looks weird at the back.
Oh,
it looks a little weird at the back.
That's actually for 100,000. I mean, everything nowadays is 100 grand. It feels like. I mean, it's like, what's the base price for? You know what they said? The average car in the United States is $47,000, and the average Tesla bought is $42,000.
Yeah,
so they were saying that now Tesla is underneath. All right, FFIE. So that's going to be why. You see what happens there? I just typed in FFIE and look at my options. RAIF, RBI.
What's RAIF?
Hold on a second. Isn't it FFIE? Am I getting that right?
100%. It is FFIE.
Okay, now it's working. All right. All right. So anyways, pulling back quite nicely here right now, actually, from that 280 mark all the way back in now. Still up great, like nice 18%, but it is pulling back in. Nice little movement back into the downside here for Faraday. And I mean, again, another name that you're going to have to watch out for the short flow. We just talked a little bit about that. I think it was 18%. Down here, 230 or so, bouncing off. That wouldn't surprise me. That's kind of what we're trying to do right now. You did barcode into this area yesterday. That is where the 200 period moving average is. So I think, trying to get a dip buy right now that you've already been here, I think you could catch 20%, right? If you can buy down here at 230 and then catch maybe even just 20%, right? Catch 40 cents back into the high of the day. I mean, that'd be 20%. So, you know, if you put in $1,000 and you make 20%, maybe that's your trade and you're done. People were asking about what you risk and what you would make. Well, we were just saying you put down 1,000, make that $200. That could happen right here on Faraday, but it could also head to the downside. So just be careful with this kind of news on a stock like this. But
I don't know if I trust the short float.
What does the short float say?
So
I can check Benzinga.
Look, I have it up on trade. You check Benzinga for me because I see 35% seems very high.
That might be
to me, especially given like a multiple. It's already split multiple times, so maybe that's before that split. I don't know, but like that looks a little like 35% seems a lot to me. But look, it's been split multiple times in here. That's what you want to be careful with here.
Yeah, they have 35%.
So it is 35%. That's a hefty short float.
I thought it was 18 for some reason. But
that said, let it make a rounded bottom. Like Sean said, that 230 looks like it could be good. Maybe this is one of those drop in and then lull everyone to sleep. But I mean, what's interesting, I don't think this one made the watch list, but I think it might be interesting for some traders. Have a look at Viking. Because Viking, they just had earnings, they had positive results with their oral, which actually puts them in a really strong spot with regard versus Lilly and Novo, and it just started breaking out. Like look at the channel it's trying to break out of on the daily. This is an interesting continuation play. I had a huge day yesterday. I mean, it's got a short float too at 14%, 4 days to cover, and it just took out this like 71 level on the daily chart there, VK. TX. I think this deserves to be on.
Yeah, Viking is a great name.
Deserves to be on some radar. Look, the thing about a day like yesterday, and I know this happened to me because when we finished the morning show, it's like, oh, this stock is down that much and that stock's down that much because all you were looking at was Tesla. Well, it was easy to have missed that Viking went $12 off the open and then actually pulled back into VWAP and then went another $5 off VWAP. Like Viking had a huge day yesterday. You got 75 sitting in here for a break. Even if it dips, I think that 70, 71 level, there's always going to be talk of them being a takeout candidate. That's always going to be out there as long as they're small and companies like Pfizer can't figure it out. So I think that's an interesting one to look at if you're watching for something that isn't a high volume name, but is probably going to give some really good percentage moves.
Just quickly here, I just put out the sticky note. And I'm not sure what is on Michael's mind today, but I wanted to know sort of maybe what he thought about FXI into today. A name that's up a little bit here. I've traded it over the last couple of days here. I just thought that, this name right here, for me, I kind of like the dip buy into this area, 3150, 3170. I mean, it has the 200 period moving average and the 50 period moving average combining on the 20-minute chart. And I just, I kind of want to get this garbage out of here. It's not moving as much as maybe I wished it was. There's not too much volume here today. But for me, FXI, I think it looks pretty decently here, trying to hold this 31-ish area. So I kind of like it. It had an explosive move up. Now it's pulling back, consolidating. So in my opinion, I think the better long is going to be breaking through this 33 area. But for today, guys, why not play a little bit of momentum into the closing price of 31.75 from yesterday? So FXI on my mind. Let's go back over to the desk and find out what's on Mr. Noss's mind.
I think we're going to talk some crypto, Michael. Welcome, Michael. Everyone's favorite chartered market technician. So I was perusing the PowerPoints here, and I saw some comparisons, Michael, with a lot of cup and handles on some of these, we could call them digital gold and then compare it to actual gold. Take us through it, Michael.
Yeah, so certainly. Well, and I'll answer that FXI question too, because I like it. It's flagging here. I think you need to get that breakout over 33. And actually, while I just came on, I was marking up that VKTX chart that Neil was just talking about here as well. So that one looks great. So I've gotten some great ideas just by hanging out in the green room on the show. So it's fantastic. But yeah, both those look great. FXI might need a little bit more time, but it's going to look at now something to get onto the topic, something that I have been wrong about for a while here, and I made a little joke in the email that I sent that if I'm wrong this time on crypto, then I'll probably stop talking about it forever because I think I'm the guy who's single-handedly jinxing the crypto market. But The first chart I have is Bitcoin. And this is why I've been bringing this up periodically every time we get up to around this 68, 69,000 area, saying, man, I like the look of this chart. I'm using the actual cryptocurrency as opposed to an ETF on this one because I wanted to go way back and show what I'm looking at. These original tops, remember, was in 2021 when everything was going crazy and people were buying pictures of rocks for $500,000. And then we had the whole FTX blow up and everything. And that caused what's this big cup that took long time, went all the way down to like 12,000, I think, at the low. Then reversed up, and now it's been going since April, well, basically since the beginning of the year. This handle has been developing. Now, not only do we have a little bit of a break of the handle last week, but this week, Bitcoin looked really bad about Wednesday or so and has dug in and then recovered as well. So this is the idea. This is what I've been watching, and this is why I've been trying to pick this and play this crypto if we can move out. And then the next chart, like Sharif just alluded to, this is why I like it so much. So this is just the gold chart on a monthly chart. And I remember talking to you guys and kind of pounding the table and saying, hey, this is why I like gold so much. This is a monthly chart, so this goes out even further. But you can see the same exact pattern took place. You had this massive cup that took years and years and years to resolve. And then you had this handle that chopped back and forth for a very long time. And when we broke, that was the move that took place. And these are great moves if you can actually get them. And of course, if they actually happen. But that's the idea behind this is we have actual gold broke out and moved. And now we have, like, again, Sharif mentioned it, digital gold looking really close. Doesn't mean it has to do the same thing. It's just a very good risk reward, high probability bet that if we get this breakout, you can see how similar these charts would look. If Bitcoin does what traditional gold will do with the beta, the amount that Bitcoin moves, you think it's going to go way, way further than even this great move that we have on gold that I'm still in some from this initial breakout back then. But I want to give you guys an idea from the stock side of things. And this is an interesting one. So we're going to start here. We're going to talk with Wolf, W-U-L-F, not W-O-L-F, which is also a ticker. I got confused when I was marking up the charts. This is interesting to me because this is a Bitcoin miner. But like I mentioned, Bitcoin is still technically down on the week as of now talking. But look at this weekly candle so far that happened in WULF. Now, I think what's happening is that these guys, their whole shtick is they mine Bitcoin with renewable energies or clean energies and all of that. And if you read the little write-up that Trade Ideas has for every single stock, it talks about nuclear. So I think what's happening is that this is moving a little bit with the nuclear names, the SMCR, the NNE, all these kind of names that are moving with this WULF, which is also moving as well. So I think you've got the nuclear side of things, which is hot because of AI, and then you may actually have the Bitcoin mining side of things if Bitcoin ends up breaking. So we just have higher lows on, that's what the uptrend line is denoting, higher lows. Every time this thing seems to dip, there's a buyer that comes in at a higher and higher price. It's what you want to see. And then a pretty substantial area around 650 or so that I'll show. And I'm going to note the volume. You see I left the volume on the charts. I don't always do that, but the volume of this candle is pretty substantial compared to recently, which is very interesting. Next chart is just the daily chart of the same thing. Now, this is what's really interesting is that, so first of all, just full disclosure, I'll always tell you I'm in some Wolf from an algorithm that I have and I've been working on. We'll stay tuned. I'll definitely share that with you guys soon in the coming weeks. But I picked up a little bit on this breakout, but I'm looking to get more. And the reason for that is it came up to that prior high and it spent the last 3-4 days just chopping around that high, which is what you want to see when a stock is digesting all or this supply that had took place overhead before. And then look at the volume of yesterday's candle. So the price barely moved, but this volume was, you can see on a relative volume on the top right there, it's 5 times normal volume happened on this name, which is 91 million shares, and it didn't move. And it didn't move. That's interesting to me, right? If that pushes through, there may be some traders that are accumulating on dips is kind of what I'm seeing in this name. So last but not least, this is just a 30-minute chart. This is kind of how I'm going to plan out my trade. I think it's fairly simple. We've got around 650 is this high. You can see it was hit 3 times this week. So I think a nice clean break through 650 is one way to play it. The other way, we've got about 625 or no, sorry, 575 on the downside. We've got some support going on there. So I'm looking to either buy a little bit if it dips into support and it looks like it's going to hold. Or the easiest way to do it, I think, would be, look for it to break 650 and then hold for 30 minutes or so above it, and then that might be your trade. Worst case stop for me, I'm going to put it down under that 575, 550, I think would be worst case. Again, I already have some, so this is kind of an add to an existing trade. So I'll raise up my average, so then I want to protect that average price.
It's a good look there, Michael, especially with the cup and handles. I want to ask you a couple of TA questions here. So you got the breakout on gold, obviously. You got the breakout from the handle. Now the one with respect to Bitcoin. Are you using the measured move, or are you using anything specific to try to say, here's where I should be ringing the profit bell on gold? Or if we get the breakout from Bitcoin on that handle, here's where I should be taking some profit on Bitcoin if we get the breakout. What's your move there, Michael?
Yeah, and this is where, I said this when I was talking to Neil on Monday, this is where I'd make some crypto people very happy, because the measured move, if we go to that gold chart, the measured move on gold is actually like right about here. So for those who just want a little explanation of what Sharif is talking about, in technical analysis with these patterns, you generally have a target based on the pattern itself. So for gold, it's the bottom of the cup to the top of the cup. That, on gold, so we dip down, so it's that range, and you take that and then you apply that to the breakout, and it's roughly 2,500 in gold, which is about where we are in GLD. Now if you do that same math on BTC, which I actually did on Monday's show as well, that's showing $320,000 a coin. It would be the measure move from that low applied to the high on a logarithmic chart. It would be different if you use an arithmetic chart, but that's just really nerd stuff. So I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to have the guts to hold until that. But what I want to do is I want to see what happens if we break this high and we get to that 100,000 mark, just because everybody in the world, whether you're a technician or not, seems to be very interested at Bitcoin 100,000. It's a big psychological number. So that's probably what I'll do, is I'll look to see what happens at that. If it looks like we're rejecting from it, then I'll probably, take my money off the table and wait for the next trade. That would be a nice 30% gain, which would be fantastic. If we just blow through and keep going, then I'm probably just going to have to apply some sort of trailing stop, because Bitcoin, when it moves, it can be crazy, and you want to make sure that you're holding that as long as you can without giving back too much profit.
All right, you guys heard it here first. Michael Noss, $320,000 price target on Bitcoin. I'm just teasing you.
Write the headline. Send it out.
Write the headline. There it is. Thanks for joining us, Michael. We'll see you on Monday.
See you Monday.
Take care.
So what I gathered from all of that is all of us that have any Bitcoin are going to get to retire when that breaks out. Because
of course.
And Sharif said something like 3.2 million is where we're going to go to.
I think it's time to go into Bitcoin. I mean, I've been saying that for a while. I think it's going to break high. I agree with him. But I like the honesty of Michael Noss.
Jinxing it.
Why do we always say Michael Noss? It's like we always go, we never say Brendan Wickens, or, it's like.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's like he's always just like.
Is it because
Mr. Noss?
It's because Noss
Michael,
is a cool name.
Just say Michael. Yeah, I know it's a great
Noss
name.
is a cool name.
It's a great name, and everybody, the Noss boss. Yeah, that's what we should do it. No, I mean, I appreciate that he's been calling this break for a while. I mean, it hasn't really gone too far against anybody to have, been stopped out, unless you're holding, a lot. And if you are, that's fine too. I mean, you're going to have your directional plays, and all we can do is look at charts, analyze them, and take shots. And I mean, in this business, I will probably take 50 shots today, and some of them are going to be wrong, and that's what winds up happening. But if you believe in what you're doing, then at the same time, those shots will pan out for you, and then the risk-reward management ratios and everything like that, risk-to-reward ratios, there will be figured out, and as long as they're favorable, you should be fine. There, and I like that he said that he got some ideas from Viking, the FXI there, and then he gave us a couple ideas with Wolf.
Well, I like this. What's interesting is there's so many, in a strong market, you get so many plays. And Wolf, which I didn't realize I think the last time these guys came up and it was traded, some people were trading it in the midday, and it was just one runner that day. I didn't realize they were a miner at the time. But overall, it's just as good of a breakout as some of the other things that we're watching here. If you compare this to some of the nuclear names, okay, so double top breakout, but I was just looking at SMR as well. If you're into this, how many bull flags do we have to see? Well, you like markets when it's just, they're all over the place. This is the same. What's different about that? So you're flagging into the prior high, super strong. Now that I've said it, are we actually going to break out 20 today on SMR? Probably not, because I'm sure I just jinxed it. But, you know, you have a long consolidation or a decent consolidation off the top. You break it out. That's what you're looking for in Wolf. That's what you're looking for in Bitcoin. It's what gold did. It's what you like in a bull market. Like, ideally, it's much more fun, like yesterday, watching Tesla go nuts and then just buying a super strong stock off VWAP or in a consolidation. That's a lot more fun than trying to pick a bottom on a stock when you know you like the long, but you have to pick some kind of crazy bottom when it's not actually trending with you. So there's so many things out there that are trending well. Viking, Wolf, SMR, Bitcoin, throw them all out there. But what else we have are upgrades and downgrades, which hopefully will lead us to some stocks that also have bullish charts.
There are definitely some stocks on watch here, including Datadog. We know this one's had quite the rally over the last few weeks, has its earnings in a couple weeks, and getting an upgrade today with a $135 price target from BMO Capital Markets. Toll Brothers here up about 2.5% with a Wedbush upgrade. Meta getting this price target increase from 600 to 675 by Bernstein. It's worth noting this upgrade actually was released yesterday, it looks like, but getting some social media attention and getting circulated around this morning. Bernstein also released a different note on Meta a few days ago, so you can read more about that in our watch list. American Airlines reported earlier this week getting this upgrade from TD Cowen. On the downgrade side, we have Apple with a downgrade from KeyBank Capital Management. Another note you can read a little bit more about in our watch list, but basically some concerns about their iPhone sales. TMUS, we have T-Mobile with a downgrade from Raymond James. Kraft Heinz getting downgraded here by Stifel. And last but not least, Citigroup downgrading Bristol Myers Squibb. Lots of names to talk about here, guys.
Thanks for that, Adair. All right, let's have a look at the futures. We're already up 1/3% here on the ES December contract, defending that level that we kind of topped out at on October 9th all the way to October 11th. We defend that on 2 separate days. The low there, about 58, high 30s, low 40s. We're above the closing print from yesterday already. 58.72. We're trading near the highs, guys. If we continue up, let's look for that 5,900 level as resistance. If we drop back down, we're looking at 58.50 as support. All right, guys, make sure to get the watch list every day. Adair prepares it and I use it, and everybody on the desk here uses it. No good morning routine is complete without that watch list. Tells you why everything's moving, and it organizes it, and it lets you set up your day nice and tidy there. So make sure you're getting that comes right into your inbox. Let's start with the first ticker here on the day. Adair, Tesla. What a monster move yesterday, 20-some-odd%. It's trailing back a little bit right now, down 1 2/3. Couple of headlines here. Elon Musk adding $26 billion to his net worth. He's projecting 20 to 30% vehicle growth in this year, which is spurred a big boy market response. But on the other side of the coin, it looks like he may be talking to Vladimir Putin, not specific to Tesla, but always seems to find its way somehow.
We know that the things that Elon does very often can move the stock, so very worth bringing that up. I think the Wall Street Journal reported that. It's also other Tesla news. Cathie Wood, ARK Invest, selling apparently $22 million worth of shares after that rally, so I'm sure one of many people printing there yesterday was Cathie Wood. Right now, we do have these higher highs and higher lows for TSLA, but it's worth noting, you and I were talking about this on screen, and I know this has been mentioned in the big desk as well. Tesla coming into a bit of a quadruple top at that 260, so we'll have to see what we do here. This is our third touch of it since July. At the most other recent time we touched it here, going back to December 2023, so clearly some resistance at 260. Will we clear it? Let's find out.
All right, Katina, man, you traded this big yesterday. What's the look?
Was a fantastic stock yesterday. It's going to be a day 2 play, right? I mean, I'm not too worried that we're down 1.43% here today. You know, yesterday we talked about playing it back to VWAP, right? And then we said today would be, and I talked about this, I think, on the recap show there. And I know Obi was sitting back late after, and we talked a little bit about the trade there yesterday. So, you know, you had that VWAP play early. We actually wound up missing that one, but then we took the break, right? And as a takeout the pre-market high there of 246 yesterday, then we really started to run. And we ran basically the rest of the day. We had one pullback there, and that gave us another opportunity to reload it back at VWAP. And then that dip to VWAP never happened. And then you kept going and going and going, where we took $12 on it. So we were long at 248. We got out just ahead of 260. We took 11 and change on the last piece of it. Was the number 1 P&L stock yesterday. And then we took this 260 break as well at the end of the day, and then it kind of barcoded, and then fell back in into the close with the imbalance. I think it was a small sell imbalance, and it was kind of flipping around, but there was a big red sell candle there at the close, indicating to me that it was a little bit of a sell balance of about 9 million shares or so there into the close, and then we sort of just did its dance back into the 200 period. Then you come in today, and someone hit it early, so I guess profit taking, thinking Tesla's going the other way. I'm not really seeing any headlines. I mean, we do have the note about Tesla just highest quarterly profit since 2023. Yesterday was its biggest day. The Cybertruck outproduced what everyone thought yesterday there, and its biggest single day performance since its IPO. So, you know, it's going to have a little bit of a hangover here today. But for me, I mean, I wrote it down on the sticky note that I like 255. And I just think, you know, it held there in the pre-market. We don't have to take that much risk right now. I mean, yesterday it moved $20. You know, I think that even if you were to go long, I don't want to do it yet. I mean, the market's going to open up and we could absolutely tank right through this level. But I'd like to see it come into 255, and then if it dances a little bit, I don't think it will. I think it could come in and then just spike right back up. But what I'd really like to see to have some kind of confirmation is the support. And right now, the only data points I have are these little things at 730. Other than that, yesterday, 255, I mean, you can look at it. It was pretty good. I mean, it was the top there. And then we fell down $3 before coming back, dancing around it, then taking it, and then off to the races. But every level looks like that yesterday, really, on Tesla. I mean, we could talk about this up here at 257, and then 259, and then 260 finally breaks. So at the end of the day, I think you have 255. If that breaks, then I think you let it go all the way back into 250. And then just say, you know what, that's going to be the psychological barrier that people will want to trade around on a Friday. I don't know. Markets will probably be light volume too. So we'll see. But day two play, I think your eye has to be on Tesla.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I mean, it's a great look because I can't say anything too different. I think I can give some confidence to 250 and 255 because obviously on a Friday, those even dollars, man, like especially when at the open and the close, it's hard to run away from them. Every $5 I think is going to be important. But if you do go back, like the last time we traded at these prices, it seems a lot longer ago than it was, but it's actually not that far ago. You're really just talking about the beginning of the month. Like you had, like it was clear resistance and support at 250. You know that's a big level. But 255 wasn't nothing either. Like the day it bounced off 250, its first resistance was 55. And then the next day was pre-market support. Today it's pre-market support. As Sean already pointed out, yesterday it was this spike high. Like that 11 o'clock breakout from 250 was a top at 255. That's basically it. The only difference is underneath 250, it would really have to bounce at that 247, or at that point, I'd be giving up on longs until it made a rounded bottom. So those are the places to look. The one thing that I was a little bit disappointed in yesterday was it didn't make sense to me that Rivian had gapped up on that news and it ended up selling off. So if Tesla decides to go ham again and Rivian decides to make a challenge at 11, like look at the resistance at 11, that's basically just gapped up here on sympathy to Tesla, and it just spent the rest of the day falling back. Like Rivian, $10 and $11. It's sitting at $10.50. If it gets to the periphery and we're sitting around in the middle of the day at lunchtime, like what to do, and Rivian's at $10 or Rivian's at $11, I can pretty much tell you I'm going to be looking to fade the 11 and go long the 10. But Tesla, every $5 for sure, no question. But Rivian's been giving it to you. You got the 11s like twice the last month. The 10s have come in multiple times. But either way, it hasn't been a loss intraday if you just play off those even dollars on Rivian. And it doesn't really, why is it good for them that Tesla blew out margins? It doesn't make any sense.
All right, guys, next on the rundown here is Apple. A couple of different headlines for this one. Let's start with the positive one. So it looks like they've joined the top 5 smartphone vendors in China again in Q3, getting the rank of 2. They hold about 15.6% of the Chinese market share, actually outranking Huawei, which is a very close third. Shipments did grow, shipment growth in China were flat year over year, but there is this delay with Apple Intelligence that could be causing that. In fact, Tim Cook is in China right now speaking with government officials about launching Apple Intelligence as it does, face regulatory hurdles, Adara. So kind of a good look, but you have a bit of a different take.
This is a really interesting downgrade here. Just reading through this from KeyBank, basically what they did here was downgrade from sector weight to underweight. Apparently the first time they've been bearish on the stock since they initiated coverage, saying, I'm just going to quote this headline because I think it summarizes it really well. Apple's an impressive business with what we believe are unrealistic expectations to reaccelerate growth across all product categories and geographies. And I will say, they did come here with some stats, Sharif. They basically said that apparently Apple's only seen growth across all its segments simultaneously just once in the last decade. They've also only grown in all their regions once in the last decade. And only twice in the past 20 years have they had growth across all segments. They're basically saying the idea that they're going to grow with their earnings report next week is a little bit unrealistic, or they're saying it's maybe more, quote, aggressive than what they think is possible.
Underweight is the rating, guys. KeyBank Capital has spoken. What's the look?
Yeah, I mean, the first headline is obviously good, right? Like back in the top 5, but there's supply for Apple at 228 and 50 cents underneath. I mean, that's what the chart's telling you. Like you lost that all-time high. Fair enough. How many stocks have pulled back from all-time highs when they get there the first time? I think that's not the end of the world. But when it lost that 233, where was the bounce? 228. Yesterday, where was the bounce? 228.5. Pre-market, 228. Even if you pull back the chart further, like 227.5. So I think it makes it, like, unless Apple loses 227, I think you look for longs down 227.5 to 228. If it happens to get to, cross the bridge of if it gets up into the low 230s, that 233, I think, is probably going to be a resistance level. But we're closer, I think, to getting that bid today on Apple. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter, upgrade, downgrade. Ultimately, price action is going to be key. That's been a key level for several days here on the bid of Apple. So I think that's what I would lean toward first. Oddly enough, we're not going to get a chance to talk about Google, so I'm just going to throw in, if we're talking about support levels, Alphabet did a nice dive and recovery off of one as well. So Alphabet, have a look at 161.5 here. 50-period moving average. If I zoom out further, you'll see when it loads up that you've also got the 200-period moving average on Alphabet, bouncing off of both of those yesterday. And then there's your support just underneath the 162 level, and then the rocket ship upside. So yeah, I mean, this one as well, 162 for support. And if we do get dips, Apple's probably closer, I think, to coming in. Google, continuation over 164 as well. So I'm kind of bullish on Google, but Alphabet, but Apple is more of a dip buy down in that 228 zone.
Yeah, Apple for 100% is on the sticky note today. I mean, we have Tesla, Apple, Palantir, SoFi, FXI. 228. I put down that there's no rush. You can go read it, but I just said there's no rush. We can pull back to give a better entry for Apple. This has been a huge stock for me this month, I feel like. And we've just been really playing off support and resistance levels. So, I mean, yeah, I think the same thing's going to be true again here for 228. I mean, I don't really care about the upgrades or downgrades. We'll wait. I don't even, what date did they say earnings were? Hold on a second here for Apple, AAPL. Right now, so it's changed. It's about the same as the market this year, up about 20% this year alone, and then it's a spooky one. It is October 31st, right there. So a week yesterday, as we come on to Halloween. We're going to wait to see what happens for that. I mean, that's basically all you need to worry about. But here it is. There's 228. You're underneath the 50-period moving average. It's been a good one to ride that to the downside, but you haven't really got an opportunity to short off of that except for right there. And right here, I think it's going to break higher. The thing is, I don't want to recommend a long until we get above this area, like 231-ish. So I think as a day trader, we have to wait for pullbacks now on Apple. I like the stocks, so does others. It's up $2 already in a straight line pretty much here in the pre-market when the NASDAQ is continuously climbing as well. These markets are so resilient, and Apple is the leader of the pack here. I think it goes higher.
Another day, another Federal Trade Commission block of a merger here. This time it is Tapestry and Capri, the two largest U.S. luxury houses. They had a trial in New York where the judge blocked the acquisition or the merger there. Tapestry has announced today that they do plan on appealing the decision. But right now, it is blocked, and kind of a tale of two different stocks over here. There, we got Tapestry up about 13.5%. with Capri down 47.25. Give us more details.
Well, you know why that might be, Sharif, is I was reading through this agreement, and it actually benefits Tapestry a lot more if they end up leaving this with Tapestry. According to the agreement they made with the merger, will have to pay Capri between 30 and 50 million. But if Capri breaks up the merger, they're going to have to pay 240 million as a breakup fee. So Capri could get hit way more significantly here if they end up having to initiate the breakup. It's also interesting. We know why the FTC filed in April 2024. They basically said Tapestry with Coach and Kate Spade combined with Capri and Michael Kors is going to be too many handbag powers. That's why it ended. But Jennifer Rochon, the judge here, actually, we don't know her reasoning because this order apparently was filed under seal. It's not accessible to the public. Wells Fargo lowering their price target from 42 to 23 this morning. This is quite the story. I cannot wait to read more about it. But as of right now, it's all very murky.
Guys, big movers here, 13% in the green and 47.5 in the red. What's the look?
Yeah, I think, and the thing is, I can't actually remember a time that you had a deal, because I think the total deal value was like $8.5 billion or something like that. So $8.5 billion or somewhere in that range for the deal, and then the breakup fee was like 30 to 50 million. You got to understand how insignificant that is. So a lot of people were pricing this in that it wasn't going to happen. Like the actual cash was 57 cash consideration on the deal, and you can see when it was announced, it went up to like 54, which is normal. That's about where you'd expect it to go on a cash offer. And since then, it's only been trading down. So this is catching some people. Some people are caught off guard with this one, but certainly it was selling the entire way. I think there's some places, if it does a dead cat bounce, there's some places to look at, like the post-deal low of 29.30. And then if it were to get to like where it was when the deal was announced, like 34, those are obvious spots for potential fades. But down this far, it's not as if the company's going out of business here. I'm going to look for a short sell restricted bounce spot. Like it has to get to one of those prior deal price, like pre-deal price, pre-deal low 29 or like 34. Those are some obvious sell spots. But if it can bounce off an even dollar and show like an SSR bounce up, like a fail break of 21, fail break of 20, something along those lines, I'd look for patiently look for a bounce. The thing about it though is at the open that can be tricky, because this happened in the aftermarket, so there might be some people that are still yet to unwind and might do so at the open. So you got to be careful trying to pick a bottom here. I'm only looking for that SSR bounce setup at an even dollar level or a previous low. Like the aftermarket low was about $18, so that low would work as well. It's going to be a very specific type of trade that I'm not just going to sit on some bid hoping it bounces off the level. It's got to be that see the bounce, play the higher low, see the fail break, play the move back up through.
I mean, it's a real nice break on Tapestry, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we can go the other way on this one, too. It's like, as Adara said, you're starting to now break above on maybe the better trade. I mean, it was bouncing off of this 47, 48, 49 area quite a while. We got back up to that area and then fell back right. I mean, these are the, it might be different because it's on news, obviously, here, but you really like when you get to support or resistance areas and then you come back in and you test the 50-period moving average on a daily chart, and then you take off of that. It just shows you that you do have some buyers there. But unfortunately, it had like 5 or 6 red days coming into yesterday, and then the news, and then the extension here today. So I don't really know if it's going to hold this break, but I think it's worth trying if you can get it back to $48. Now, it doesn't have a lot of volume here this morning. Well, I guess 200,000 shares is going to be up volume to what it does normally. But this can fall back in. I mean, the bid is very, very loose, right? I mean, you don't have very many shares here. So instead of it being like a tight bid where there's shares everywhere, I'm going to call this a loose one. I don't know if I've ever kind of just made that up, but it's just, it can fall in. Like, there's not enough shares here to defend either way. So I would think it might be worth it if you can get it back to 48 just on a daily chart there for Tapestry. And I think that if you're in this name as well, I don't blame anybody for getting something out here at the top and then waiting to see if this indeed is a breakout. So yeah, TPR and CPRI there, Capri, giving us an opportunity here to trade these two names that we don't normally get. So yeah, on watch there. And the FTC wins. You know, it's great for the Joe Biden administration. This is what they want. This is why they're doing this. It's competition. They don't want the price of these handbags to get out of control. So they're doing that by breaking these guys up. So we'll see what happens now moving forward with some more deals that are in the pipeline.
All right, Mark Shmulik from Bernstein giving the nod today to Meta and a nice little price target upgrade there from 600 to 675. Basically, here's the look. He wants to kind of label this as a set it and forget it stock. And if you had to take his pick between Google and Meta, it would be Meta. He sees that they have effective AI monetization and a good advertising business, Adara. But so this is already run up pretty nice.
This is a great move up here. And I actually have this 15-minute chart. I was just saying to Sharif off camera, there's a nice support level here around that 563.40 level for META, potentially some resistance overhead at 583. But that gives you some room to run should Meta run. Some other details here from this upgrade. It's worth noting, Bernstein actually released a note reiterating its $600 price target earlier this week. Then this note comes out yesterday with a $675 price target, but it basically got some traction and got social media attention today. Other things they mentioned, they're basically saying that the company has a shareholder-friendly management team, which, again, not something you necessarily would have said about Meta a few years ago. So great look. They also mentioned how it's up 59% year to date, saying that they also mentioned there could be some weaker than expected ad spending from Temu and Shein, which could also boost Meta because we know Meta's ads are a huge aspect of monetization.
2022 feels like a really long time ago, guys, when this was at 88 bucks.
2022. I mean, in market terms for momentum stocks, it is a long time, oftentimes. But hey, bull flag set up on Meta. So how many times we've seen it a lot? It doesn't have to be like that straight line. It can be down. It can be descending, like this one here, this channel. And as Adara said, support in the low 560s. That's the bottom of the channel. The top of the channel has to take out 580. So if it's going to be more of an inside day. So the reason to like Apple is Apple's at support. And then I like Google because Google's close to support and trying to break out a prior high. Meta right now is just kind of sitting right up in the middle of nowhere. So when it's sitting here, okay, like if it gets up into the high 80s, that's where the resistance is. It has to pull back at least into prior highs or into the support for an opportunity. That's why I'm looking at Google and Apple over Meta. But on the daily chart, heck, when Meta breaks out of this channel, that's going to be, I think, an explosive long. It's just for now, you're trading inside of this slightly downward consolidating channel on Meta. Not a bad thing. That's decent accumulation. And what might even happen if it does this long enough, it might take it right back into the 50 period, which would be even better. And then a more explosive move, I think, if it does that.
All right, I wrote down here. I mean, I like that look on Meta for sure. Let's get to a name that we might not be able to get to here before we open up. That's gonna be Palantir. So I have Palantir here. The 52-week high is 44.39 right now. I marked down that I really. Come on. I'm already going to take this trade. So I'm going to take a little bit of a bid through $44. I mean, the thing is that Palantir's a risky one because it moves so violently at the open. We've talked about this a couple times. That breaking there, 44, I think it's worth it. The high right now, 43.92. So that's what Palantir looks like right now. I have dip buy opportunities here. What we wrote down on the sheet was 44 long break, but I'm also trying to buy the 200 period end VWAP as well. So if we can fall back into 43.75 or so, I think that's a buy there for Palantir. I mean, yesterday, this is what I'm talking about. You open the day up at 43, you get all the way down to 42.50, and then you rip back up, you come back in and test those lows again, right? This wild action off the open the day before, you get 42.50s, the bottom there, 43 we open up at, then we rip back, and so there's been a lot of movement in Palantir lately, but I like this. I like we're taking this out. We took out yesterday's top, so this is what we're trying to buy. Right? I mean, if we come in, I do have a bid already here at 43.70, so hopefully that will come into play and we'll be able to get that fill off the open. But at the end of the day, I think your breaking spot might be 43.50. You don't want to take too big of an L on that. I was actually looking maybe for 43.25 down here to try to hold. So I think you got to give it a little bit of room here, Palantir, today, as we are right at 52-week highs again. So off a deal with L3H yesterday, L3 Harris, and we're going to figure out what happens now moving forward with Palantir. But I mean, I like the stock. 4 or 5 straight up days. You got to play the momentum, as says Josh Allen.
Damn right.
Guys, last on the list here, Spirit Airlines save another great day, almost 24% here, 23.5 They announced today they're entering into an agreement with GA Telesis to sell some aircraft, specifically 23 Airbus A320s. It's to the tune of about $519 million. The sale is expected to provide about $225 million by the end of the year, which definitely helps their liquidity situation here.
It's a great situation. Yeah, apparently they're going to sell here 23 Airbuses. They also announced job cuts. They said they've identified apparently $80 million worth of annualized cost reductions. They're going to start implementing these in early 2025. And they said most of this is going to be driven by workforce reduction. So some job cuts here for SAVE. I have this 15-minute chart up here because it's worth noting we're at a bit of a range here. Some rejection here at $3.20 level, and then support at $2.40 level. We have over a 30% short float on SAVE, and they've been in the headlines recently as well with the potential, resurgence with their Frontier merger deal. There was also some news about their debt restructuring. So SAVE once again could be on watch, guys.
Yeah, 2 days, guys, double-digit gains. What's the look?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically been to let it get to 250 and bounce off at 250. Or, I mean, if you're not playing that, like waiting for it to get down in here and bounce off that low, then I guess you need it to break through the 3.25 on the daily, right? If it's going to squeeze, look, if it's going to squeeze, it has to break out to get shorts to cover. So as long as it stays inside of the range, you're probably just going to get tripped up all over the place. So, waiting for it to be at that low for a bounce play, I think makes some sense if that's what you want to trade, or take out the 325. Now, the other name on our watch list, actually back to back on the watch list that I have that I like today, maybe a little bit more than Save. I like more than Save, is going to be SoFi. So SoFi, it's a little bit different on SoFi. Like, it's trend up. They report Monday morning, just to get it out of the way. They do report on Monday morning. It is taking out right now yesterday's 1130 high. But when I popped up on the daily, it's going. When I popped up okay, now you can't really see. Let's go to the 3-minute chart. That's better. And when you pop up the chart, you had support early at $11, and then you had resistance just underneath $11. So I like this as long as it can hold above 11 and want to see continuation on a breakout above. So it can pull back as long as it gets to 11. No fighting it if it loses yesterday's, not the low, but yesterday's like 1080 level. If it loses that, then I don't want to be fighting any longs. It would have to round off the bottom and get back above 11 or show some kind of trend reversal. But yeah, the 11 level looking for dips, and if it just breaks out the top, I want to play a continuation play over on SoFi. Much more likely that we get trades in SoFi than in Spirit, but you never really know. If Spirit just starts squeezing over 325, might be worth a look.
Yeah, I also had SoFi written down. I like that. You can go check out the sticky note for that one. All right, so I was just looking here. Tesla did have a sell. So these are the imbalances. They're out right now. Remember, it's Friday, so, imbalances may, be a little more effective here as we have options and everything expiring, week options anyways. There's daily options, of course. Palantir on the watch list as well. That's going to be a little bit of a bid there. Not really doing too much to the stock, as we can see as we go. There is not much else. I mean, we had Save on the board, and there it's coming as a buy, which it just made a move down. So that's kind of interesting that might be there. Joby was a name that was talked about. They had that offering there yesterday after hours. So Joby down today. How much is it down? Down 4. Okay, put this over here. Down 14% right there. I'm not really seeing too much else. There's Intel maybe as a small sell, but some of these numbers are so small, but it does make a little bit of a dip right down into 30. So you do pick up a 200 period moving average. Let's just check out what NVIDIA is doing here as we enter into the open. We'll get rid of the imbalances, right? I mean, there's not much on there. All right, NVIDIA though, despite the market being up 0.6, NVIDIA is only up 0.4, and as we do some rounding right here, but it's moving around pretty fast in that percentage. So we'll see if that can hold those levels. Tesla day 2 play, of course. We had marked down 255. Not something to jump into. Like my bigger trade. I mean, we had a good trade here. We wound up getting out of it, but we were able to reload it there, and that wasn't until 10:10 yesterday. So it's not like we have to completely worry. Oh no, what just happened right there? I just got filled on something. Okay, so SoFi. So SoFi just did this. So now we are long SoFi. So I had written down here on today's sticky note that I like SoFi, and Neil just talked about it, so I didn't, but it's on here right there. SoFi 115. 11.15, get long. Looks down, long 11.16. So, okay, it's a price that we wanted. But the thing about this is, and we talk about this all the time, is that you never really want to get filled too much here in the pre-market. We got filled a decent amount. So let's see if we can put something out here at 21s and then get a little bit of a bounce back upside now on SoFi. So take advantage of this. We're sitting there. We've joined ARCA, I believe. So we'll see if we can get something out there at 21 on SoFi just real quick. But we're in that position now. I don't ever like to get it so early, especially on a Friday, by the way. We'll hold it. I like the level.
Made me think there was maybe a sell imbalance there when it spiked
Was
down.
it?
It was not. It was not. I double checked.
Okay.
If it was less than 100,000. And if it's less than 100,000, SoFi's done a couple mil pre-market.
Yeah,
Although some of that's dark pool printing, so there was not an imbalance. I'm in front of 11 there, so we'll see if that one wants to come down. About 20 seconds to go to the last bell of the week. Why am I on? Okay, I'm gonna be on level 2 Tesla to start with, because every $5, like we said, at 55 and 50, those could come into play very quickly as we drop the countdown. Adara's in green. I don't know if you can tell, but she's in the green. Usually that means good things.
Cannot tell there.
So let's ring it in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go.
All right, thank you, Adara, for that one, as we will continue to watch out for SoFi and see what happens. All right, we just got Palantir. Palantir goes for a dip as well in there. So again, we're going to try to do the same thing again here. If we could just make a small little win early on Palantir, we should do that. We're now long at 71s. Let's just see if it wants to get going here. I mean, there it goes, up to 79. So an early win there on Palantir for us as well, but very, very quick, man. I mean, we wanted to sit there. We put this trade down. We like the trade. Let's see if it wants to work. We talked about where we would be wrong on this, and I think 43.25s or so is where we're wrong.
Yeah, Tesla already.
Yeah, it took it out.
Yeah, it got down to like.
Did it get to 255s?
55, 29, or 30. Not in that bottom quartile of the low, but already breaking out the top. So we might have to be a little bit more patient. We'll see if we can get that one picked up. Google blasted up already, so I guess that's not going to go into the dip. Trying to take out those highs, and already Capri is going. CPRI already took out its top as well. Want to be a joiner. Well, the scaling is going to be messed up on this. If it comes back in and fails a 20 break downside, then that's going to be where I play it.
Okay, let's go. Palantir is really singing right now, baby. Okay, here we go, man. It's SoFi and it's Palantir. We're going 2 for 2 on Sticky right now. Again, the Sticky Icky is the good stuff today. We just get some out at 30 right there on SoFi, and then we get some out at O's or 98s right now on Palantir, as there it goes back there to the upside. Yeah, it looks like, shout out to Marshall and everything, talking about we're doing this again. I mean, there it goes. Palantir, nice upside move. There's the dip buy. There it goes. Let's see if it goes. I mean, it's still very, very early. I'm impressed with that Tesla move. Again, you know, it does come into our 255, but this time I'm not going to be crying over spilt milk, because we had talked about I mean, it's written on here 255, but I would like to have seen it base out a little bit. All it did was, and this is exactly what, if you rewind this 10 minutes, I said it's probably going to come in, wax it, and then rip, and I'd miss the trade. So I'm fine with missing that. I'm glad that we sort of called that, but at the end of the day, we do not have it, so that sucks for that. All right, here we go, man. I mean, if we can just keep on getting some out here on SoFi, that'd be pretty good. We have a decent-sized position here. Like I said, we were a little bit nervous about it because it came in pretty quickly there into the open, and it got it pre-market, so that's a little nerve-wracking there. All right, so Palantir, we only got out of a third. It's dripping back in there. Oh, that's why. Okay, I was going to say, why is it showing me out a little bit?
260 already.
All right, we should just be going long on Tesla right now. Average price on Palantir, 79. Yep, there it goes, blasting through.
Oh, my goodness.
260.
Wow.
Missed opportunity there on day 2 play for Tesla. Adara?
Keep an eye on Intel here, INTC. It's worth noting, I am seeing no confirmation of this story or any citation as to where it's from, but I'm seeing a couple accounts on Twitter circulate this, apparently this rumor that Intel has announced intentions to make an initial investment exceeding $28 billion. I am not sure as to where this initial investment is going. I'm not sure where they announced this, not sure who is reporting this, but it's worth noting because it is moving. There's some speculation on Twitter. Intel is making an initial investment of some kind of $28 billion, guys. INTC.
Oh,
In
Apple, Apple is absolutely insane today. We had talked about that right there. We like the long, and boy, oh boy, is it going to the upside right now. Apple, I was like, hey man, we're pretty positive about the market, and Apple right here should go as well, and it's trying to right now. All right, we do get an FXI position, so we'll hit the new trade alert. Our FXI is, sorry, that's SoFi. There's our FXI. It just came in right here. We were trying to buy China today. 31.75 is where we'll probably draw the line on this one as well. 3 positions. It looks like it could be another trophy here for Palantir. It needs to go though, man. I mean, it's still here. I'd still like that 43 break. We did take a 44 break. We did take a very small piece because I thought it was going to possibly break in the pre-market. So that's why my average price is still where it's at, 79. So we
Tesla's doing it again.
Tesla's.
Remember the afternoon?
Tesla's insane.
Tesla got to that 262 on the 260 break, and I'm thinking same thing in here. So I didn't get the breakout on Tesla because it happened very, very fast. It dipped right back in. Every $5 is just going to be a level as far as I'm concerned. So it failed, broke 260 on the way back in, and now it's going ham again. Okay, there's that. It just went to 263.
Yeah,
I want to get some
might as well
in front of the half here. You're obviously. There's so many people probably caught off guard after those earnings. Okay, so yesterday's high was up and around here. I'm out of all but 20% on that initial push. Now we'll look for the dip buy. When it broke last time, when it broke yesterday, the initial break, you got a pullback. So I'm expecting that you might see the same thing again. I never expect day 2 to be as good as day 1. So going to play a little patience game, waiting for the next available dip. Hold on. And, NVIDIA broke 142 as well. And hold on, look for the dip back into 260. VWAP's really far away. I think it's too early to care too much about VWAP. I think you care about that a little bit later on in the morning session. Yeah, NVIDIA, that was a missed opportunity. It broke the 142. Bye-bye. There finally, NVIDIA takes 142. We got to get into this one somehow. So, yeah, I mean, this could pull back and give you less than 142 and still look good on that 15-minute chart. So don't want to chase it. I'm not going to chase NVIDIA, but we do like that one finally above the 142 level. There's taken a bit, but it's there.
Yeah, I like everything that we're seeing here for sure today. These longs are really, really pumping right now. There goes Palantir. We're talking about how special this trade hopefully could be. Let's see if it can continue to be there here for Palantir. So it's trying to break through that 44 rate now. I'm going to put another piece right here at 44 just to get a small piece out here. I'm talking about like getting out of like 5%. So that's kind of what I'm doing now differently is I'm just getting out. I have more outs now, but it's just that they're smaller pieces, so it's allowing me to hold something for the dream. If that dream becomes reality, then we'll have a little piece on. There it goes. Okay, Palantir really right now, man. Big trade alert here on Palantir. Again, we talk about all of that all the time, and you got to trust in what you're doing, and there it is. It is Palantir. Yes, sir. Good trade there. I'm going to take a 263 break on this. I mean, why not? I mean, it just keeps on getting to the upside. It looks like it wanted to hold 261. We could definitely take that and hold this $2. So let's wait to see if it wants to continue to go higher here. Tesla only up 0.75, and we know it can get going a lot more than that. Wow, Palantir is really on fire. SoFi has really caught fire here as well. Again, like today, the sticky note's going to be, again, crazy because we have FXI, Palantir, and SoFi, and they're 3 for 3, and they're monster position, not monster positions, but good amounts of shares here as we continue to go higher here. Here comes Tesla, by the way. We're in it, breaking through 263.
It cannot be stopped.
Adara?
It wants 65.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying this thing wants 265. I believe I heard a call for it there. Let's go to the desk.
IBRX here, if you're looking for a small cap, this one has run in the past. Nice rounded bottom recovery here for Immunity Bio. They announced last night that they've dosed their first patients in their phase 1 study of their non-Hodgkin lymphoma treatment. This one has a 32.3% short float, so definitely substantial short float. 77.1% of the stock is insider owned, and the market cap's a bit larger here, about $2.9 billion market cap for IBRX.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no worries. All right, so we are into Tesla right now, trying to go higher and higher. We'll see where we can go. We're long at 263.10. We only got out of 20%, so let's see where we can go. Hopefully a little bit higher than that. It did have a problem there, but it hasn't been smooth sailing through every level. So just be careful, and I think if you like the position, then you like the position. That's all that there is here. We're going to see if we can hold this a little bit more and see if we can get a 264, which here it goes right now. Nice trade to the upside here for Tesla. late to the party, but again, when you're trading these names, man, you just want to be in them, it seems like. And there goes Tesla. Okay, see if we can get an 80. There it is, there it is, there it is. Nice move there for Tesla. We got some more out on Palantir. We're long at 263, late to the party, but well-dressed, as there it goes, man. Yes, sir. Let's go, baby. This is a big trade alert again for Tesla. There it goes, right back up to the upside. It's TSLA again, baby.
I mean, it's chewing through size. It just got to that 04.
What?
Over 64, not 204, over 64. I did dip by in NVIDIA. We wanted to get this one back into 42 and VWAP. But the story is Tesla just spiked into 64, looking 65. Obviously, that's that next spot on the daily chart. There you go. I think we've all seen it by now. Wow. So 265, it clears that out without even a dip at this point. Like, it hasn't really given you much of a dip. I think this might be the chance. So eyeballs got to be, if you're looking to get into this move, if this is going to be the chance to dip back in, VWAP will sit around 260.5, but just every even dollar. Yesterday, when it failed 250 break, the first bounce was at 248, completely random. And then the second bounce was the one off VWAP. So I still think you got to wait around for that level if it comes a little bit later, but I want to take the first available quality even dollar bounce here on Tesla. So far, so good. There's a couple of halts in there, but let's have a quick look. NVIDIA, I said I'd get in on the 142. It bounced. I think I was a little front side on this. If it loses VWAP, I'm getting out of NVIDIA. Do not want to cash this one back through VWAP when the market's pressing as strongly as it is. So that's pretty much it. Obviously, there was an opportunity early to get a squeeze play on CAPRI, but that's come and gone.
Guys, you have no idea what kind of a day is happening over here. Palantir is now 50 cents in the money off of that. Like, that is really, really starting to go. I mean, wow, we are really putting up numbers. SoFi is 10 cents. Palantir continues to go 50 cents. Tesla's now $1.50 and absolutely ripping to the high side right now. And we still have on 40% of this trade. So that is for me pretty decent. So let's just again, you know, we'll have to sit here and watch it. There we go. Take out another piece there at 264 as it comes back in. We are starting to average some out. We take it 264. We did get a little bit of a top piece there. So, you know, it's blue skies for now, but you can't just keep on like trucking like this, or can you? I mean, I think it's wise to start to get some out here out of all of these positions, right? So that's what we're doing. So let's get some more out here on Palantir. Let's get some, there we go. We'll take some 29s actually. Thank you very much for that. More outs there on Palantir at day's high. And Palantir is actually running pretty much Tesla's straight up. I mean, Tesla's been great, but just in the last 5 minutes, Palantir has really shot up there. It almost went up there, that full 1%. From almost 40 cents straight, well, more than 40 cents, but nice move there. So both of these names really going upside right now. We're also long FXI, which really isn't moving. I'm trying to buy some more down where I said at 75s down there. So if we can get an 80 fill, fine, and then we'll watch out for that key level of 75. Come on, Tesla. Come on, Palantir. And come on, SoFi. We've been getting out more. SoFi, man, Tesla just ripped up again, dude.
It went, that dip couldn't even break 263. It looked like it was going to go into prior high 62 and then absolutely nothing doing. So I said if we lose VWAP, I'll get out of NVIDIA because I feel like I was on the front end of that trade, which is it's coming back in. I didn't get the break at 42. That doesn't mean I have to hold on to it. I wanted to make a rounded bottom, show me that low, get something back upside. DJT is flying right now. I'm going to go with the same plan as before. Like if DJT does something obviously rejecting to the downside, then Funware hasn't broken out the high. So pretty much that simple. So if we get a fail on DJT, I'm not touching that short with a 10-foot pole, but I would look for a short setup on Funware if DJT does a big reversal or mean reversion type trade. So just gotta be patient here. Obviously, the market is flying almost 1% to the upside. Now NVIDIA is trying to hold VWAP. Tesla's chilling. It's above 264. It's trying to get to that 65 zone where the resistance is on that daily. So absolutely flying along with this market. Now NVIDIA is starting to hold. To hold this VWAP here, we can close above, getting that re-entry. Adara?
UPXI here, UPXI looks like it's halted right now, up here almost 300% for UPXY. This company announcing that they're going to do an investigation here, legal review underway because of some potential stock manipulation after a reverse split. They said they've also announced the shareholder issue after the split. They're requesting 202,000 shares. Now, their total float right now is actually under 1 million shares, 758.4 thousand shares. They also here have a market cap of $12 million. So small market cap, micro float here for you, PXI, guys.
News?
Pretty speechless today again, which is probably good for most people. Like Palantir is Palantir will be P&L number one. But Tesla right here, I mean, if that keeps on doing what it's doing right now, we are now $2 in. Neil still has that from 260, which is great. But this is going to be the number one trade there. Wow, it's just going. Our best fill is right now. It's the highest it's been, 264.79 right now for Tesla as it just continues to climb, man. This has been what a day there for this name. I'm glad we took that 263 break. I got a lot of tweets yesterday, and I want to thank everybody for that. A lot of DMs with P&Ls and everything about that Tesla trade. And yeah, like it takes a lot to hold something for that long. And congratulations and thank you for those kind words, guys. But I mean, look, it's happening right now again. As not the gates of hell, it is props up for anybody in this Tesla trade. It is going, man. And I mean, it's not even, so again, I took more share, like Palantir is the one here. Palantir will lead the day for me, but it's basically kind of, they're almost the same now P&L wise, actually, as Tesla is now $3 in the money as that continues to go higher and higher and higher. Look, we're not going to be stubborn about this at all, guys. We are taking more out right now at 266. Like this is wow. This is absolutely unreal, Neil, as we continue to have the face slappers right here. There it goes, man. Bye-bye, Tesla. Monster moves here. Decent sized position. We're still in this name, man. 20% we still have of this trade. Tesla is absolutely mooning. What's up, Khalik? What's up, everybody else, man? I mean, it's a special day over here. There is no doubt about that. We had a special day yesterday, needless to say. And then look what's happening today. Today, Alex Karp goes, hey, do not forget about me, because there goes Palantir. Huge trade alert for Palantir breaking the 52-week high. Oh boy, today is the day to check your accounts, baby. 267 now.
It's
for
over.
Tesla. Oh man, get that defibrillator over here, Sharif.
It's nasty, nasty, nasty for the shorts on Tesla. You're pounding through the tops now.
Wow.
You're now through almost all resistance here in Tesla until you get to about 270. So it's 270 or bust at this point. And I think 65 now turns into like the obvious spot, like that prior high to look for a dip. So I think it's just going to have to continue here. Like when it did yesterday, it's not going to do 22%, but this is absolutely sick on Tesla. And at this point on a Friday, every $5 is what's going to matter. We're back in on NVIDIA, and for the first time, at least for myself today, like SoFi didn't get to $11. That's the one I like, but it just false broke 11.15 here and came back and held. So now you got a bottoming tail candle. Going to look for a little bit of a rounded bottom here on SoFi. That's what's next for me. And ideally, I think it's going to be 274 Tesla. So we'll look to get that push into 270. I'm going to probably take it out in front of 270 and then get that pullback. So looking pretty good. You can't complain. 1.1 on the NASDAQ. Everything flying to the upside, at least everything that I'm looking at.
Everything, yeah. You know, it's always a good sign when Neil reviews something and it's the exact level that we have and the exact level that we wrote down for you guys at 8:30. So there's SoFi right there coming into 11.15. Guys, we said great opportunity to get long, and we did that. So, and I'm glad that Neil sort of reminded me because I got carried away there with what the hell's going on in Tesla. And Neil, Tesla is the P&L dream that we all thought it would be. Today, it is an absolute banger there of a trade today on Tesla. Wow, it's always good when you have such a huge day on a name yesterday, and then you come back today and you only have one trade and it does this. And it's just like, okay, it's signed, sealed, and delivered right there today for P&Ls, baby. I mean, look what we have. We have Tesla, $6 in the money. We have SoFi, bang, huge trade there. We have Palantir still could be P&L number one, guys. That's starting to go. And then we have FXI right now, which is starting to go upside a little bit here. But I think did we have a Dara there? All right, let's go then.
We have an update here on the Intel story. All I had been seeing at that point was that they're planning on investing more than $28 billion in something. Now we know, Reuters reporting that they're planning on investing more than $28 billion to build 2 chip factories in Licking County, Ohio. So 2 Ohio chip factories in the works here as announced by Intel. They said that this is part of their plans to expand their foundry business. And this initial phase of this project is expected to create 3,000 jobs for the company. So INTC getting another leg of upside here with a nice volume spike here on that $28 billion chip investment news, guys.
Ominous level for Intel. 2280 has been a sell zone. I'm going to go there in a quick second. We said we'd probably get an update. Wanted to see what that news was, but 270, it almost got to 270 on Tesla. 269.5, actually 42 I have as the high there, but it broke that trend, like the trend from the last break at 64. So that's me jumping out of the trade, same as before. Now we're looking for the dip buy. There hasn't been a red candle yet. Your first red close on the 3-minute, to me, is going to be the bounce zone for Tesla. Just very quickly here, Intel.
Kablam.
I mean, this story, load, PC load letter, give me a break. There is resistance all last week on Intel. I know it. Everyone can see it. 2280 in here. It needs to break 23 for this to have any juice. I'm usually looking mean reversion on Intel, but I'd have to really sit down and think about that story, whether it makes it not a short. But yeah, you're at resistance right now. I think it needs to break 23 to get more juice, to be honest with you. I'm not going to chase that. It's got to be looking dip buy on Tesla. We got VWAP on NVIDIA. It's still trying to press higher, but you're getting a compression pattern over in NVIDIA. So I still think the story should be where to get back into Tesla, and we'll let the stock decide. You can't, if it's 270 break, it's 270 break. If it's 265 or 266 buy, then those are what they are. You just got to let this one try to come back into you. Big move on Tesla, obviously. And I don't want to sleep on what's going on in DJT, because DJT's up 7% and still absolutely flying. I almost forgot that the Rogan Trump thing was tonight.
Yeah.
So I mean, come on. Like, yeah, exactly. Completely forgot about that because we're looking at Tesla, let's be real. But the second this makes any kind of a reversion pattern, I'm going over to Funware, which hasn't broken yet. I am not shorting DJT. Not going to short DJT.
Yeah, no, we've been talking about not shorting that for a minute. Do not short DJT until I think it's. I said we got about one more week left of that name, and then it'll be downside. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, wait even a couple days before. Like I think next week Wednesday maybe is that. All right, guys. Unfortunately, all good trades must come to an end. But not Palantir. We're still in it. We still do have a position in Palantir. It's probably about 15% or so of what we had. I'm going to take this opportunity to get out right now of just another piece here if we can at 36s. What did I offer 36s? There's something that happened so fast. 38s actually. Oops. Okay, good. Making sure I'm on Palantir. Yeah, 38s right here. We can also just get out maybe even right now. But let's see if we get a little bit more of a pop-up just because I'm offering there. We talked about, there he goes, how the fee structure works and things like that. It is always better to offer out if you can. So there it is. So we get that share out a little bit there as we get less and less now about that 10 to 15%. I get out, like I said, I'm just trying to get out as I see fit here. Tesla, let's go. We'll still in that one. We'll props it up. We just took a fill there at 268, 80s. Hopefully now it will continue its march a little bit higher here, which would be really nice for us through 270. So my next offer right now on Tesla is 269.80. So we'll see if we can test up to the high side and then just get out. Today's a monster day, guys. Everything is working. SoFi is working. SoFi is working great. Palantir, I'm kind of done talking about it. It was an absolutely fantastic stock, and I think a lot of you guys that are in this name would know that. And then Tesla, just really paying bills here the last couple days, to be honest with you, how well this is traded, and it's trading that good again here today. We do only have 10% left. Actually, we just got out. We have about 8% left of this trade. That's it. So yeah, well traded there to the upside. Tesla may or may not be my number one stock at the end of all this, but Palantir's still humming. So right now, that's the battle for me anyways. And then we did get some out on FXI, as FXI did make that move into VWAP. So again, like that's honestly, it's a small one, but it's another one. And there it goes right now. We're going to go 4 for 4 today.
Yeah, I've only been in 2, and NVIDIA just tagged the high of the day. So this one's going to try to break out this top. Looks like, I mean, AMD is going as well. I want to respect it. But remember, this 144 on NVIDIA, that's that all-time high. So if it breaks the 143, you're talking about an all-time high, and AMD also pressing up to 158.50. Monster resistance on AMD. Wow. Let's go over to, I believe, Adara at the desk.
Great, look here for JKS, up about 16%. Jinko Solar, this is a Chinese ADR. They announced yesterday that they're planning on reporting their earnings on Wednesday. So October 30th earnings report on watch here for JKS before the open. Now, in terms of some background here, they do have a market cap of around $1.3 billion. Short float from what I'm seeing here of about 9.4%. And they have run in the past, most recently, of course, with these Chinese ADRs. So keep an eye on JKS, guys.
Jinko, keep an eye on that one. Okay, so DJT just did this over here. I'm going to make sure I get the Funware chart up for you as well. So DJT just did this pullback off of 38. So when that happened, Funware was chilling at about $10 and did this kind of like topping tail candle at 10 even. It's actually short sell restricted on Funware, which, I mean, it is what it is, but it also means that I actually didn't even really get filled. Everything on the punch down. And I don't want to get picked up on the way back up. That is not the play. So I actually didn't even get everything because, as I said, when it's short sell restricted, you need an uptick to get the fill. And I did not get fill when it broke 10. I didn't get 98 or 99s. I came down to 95, play back into VWAP. That was always going to be the play. Look for that hammer candle down on DJT and then play Funware back into a VWAP retrace. So once again, that's one of those, let it be the futures, see it fail 38, wait for this to fail the prior high, and then play back into the volume-weighted average price there on Funware. So I'm going to take out over half of it into the volume-weighted average price. If we continue down to VWAP on DJT, then I'm looking for about 925 over there on Funware. So did it 2 days ago, didn't do it yesterday, of course, the day that Funware was down 40%, but we'll do it again here today. But this may be coming down. The market is just continuing to go higher, though. The NASDAQ now 1.25% and still going more and more. I never got, I'm just going to cancel my dip buy on Alphabet because we're not going to see those prices anymore. It's not just Tesla today. You're getting some strong moves in other places. Google at the high of the day. We didn't get into that one. Apple, we like to dip into 28. Apple's at 232. That's also breaking out, and we missed out on that. But it is what it is. Like we said we're going to start with Tesla. But there was some missed opportunities in some of the other Mag 7 names we did like them for long. Even Meta's probably gone that we might have missed out on. But who cares? Still looking for the base on Tesla. I guess it's going to be 67, it looks like.
No, I think you're, like, when you say who cares, the thing is like you're saying, you can't look at everything. And it's about you guys just picking up some of the strategies, I think, is really for us what we try to do every day, is just to talk about what we look for. I mean, it's why we make these notes. We talk about the watch list that's free every single day for everybody, right? And so, NVIDIA, like, back in ripping again, right? And so, you got to watch out for some of these plays. SoFi out. AMD. We only have 5% left. We have very light on everything. Palantir gave us those outs up there. Tesla, we're not even looking at it. We're not worried about it. Again, 8% left. There's NVIDIA, bang. Like, this is what I was saying when he was rattling off some of those names. I was like, yes, because, we all own NVIDIA. We have a thing out today here about what stock to buy. We talked about just buying NVIDIA. I was answering some Instagram questions, and I was just like, guys, just keep it as simple as possible. And we talked about that down here. I was like, well, NVIDIA's on its way down today. It was like 137, 138. I'm like, well, just still got to buy it. Now up to 143 right now on NVDA, and you might be wondering what is
huge offer.
Huge offer. I was gonna say, what is the 52-week high? 144.42. So there's the big offer right there at 143. So all good up in here, man. I know Neil's got it, so it's starting to go there. NVIDIA, there it goes, breaking through now, 143. And by the way, Tesla, still that $6 runner. Seeing what we can do here on Tesla, up at 268 again. 269. There goes 269. New highs now coming in for Tesla. I'm going to take an opportunity. I was waiting at 80. There it is. We'll ring the registers there. We'll cancel our 80 now. I'll take a 20 fill right there on Tesla. And again, this is what scalping affords you, right? Be able to get out of shares when you see the different moves happening. There it is again, man. Holy shnikes. We took about $17 or $18 in total net gain yesterday on Tesla. This trade alone right now is $6, but we have been getting it out. I don't even know if Obi's in here today, but he and I talked about these kind of plays, and it's just like, you just wish to hold on to more shares. But today we did do that. We're actually up today a similar amount to what we were up yesterday on Tesla. But again, you know, looking for more here. It's going to break 270. The question is, are we going long through 270?
Look, I think a break like that, it's one of those, like, you grit your teeth and you take it. And if you don't like it, you can, for a day trader, if you don't like it, you just put a tighter stop in or something, or take less shares or put a tighter stop if you don't like it as much. There's no way you like 270 as much as 260. Some of that's going to be anchoring, I think, at times. All right, so NVIDIA just came back through 143. So I want to hang, look, I do want to hang on for VWAP here on NVIDIA, but that kind of a hammer, like that kind of a candle through an even dollar break, okay, we'll take a leg out. Now we're just going to hold either back into VWAP or for that all-time high 144. So that what looks like it's coming next. By the way, DJT, and someone asked me, what's the relationship between DJT and Funware? It's just been a sympathy play in the past. There is a fundamental relationship, but they don't necessarily have to move in concert. It's just when DJT is going parabolic and reverses, Funware tends to lose the bid. But with that bounce, the second I saw that, I got basically now down to 5% of Funware because it just bounced off VWAP and DJT made a bounce. So we're going to be out of that one. If it breaks 10, we're going to be out of it. If DJT makes a fresh high. If DJT breaks out the top, I don't care where Funware is. I would just punch out. So we want to get into something. I do want to get back in if it's a 270 break or wherever the bounce is on Tesla. And I do want to join the trend in Alphabet at some point. But now you have to be patient with, like, Alphabet's gone. VWAP is $1 away. So there might be a 65 even dollar level. That's what I'm looking at here next. Come to my chart for a second. So I'm looking for a pullback to try and catch either a nice little rounded bottom at 65 or into VWAP on Google, because we like this one and we want to be in that long, but it's 10 o'clock. Let's go to Adair for happening now. I'm gonna break.
Consumer sentiment print here, the final print for October of this metric, 70.5. So that's higher here than the previous print of 68.9 and the consensus of 69. Michigan 5-year inflation expectations in line with estimates of 3%. Michigan inflation's up for the 1-year estimate, actually below expectations. So 2.7% versus 2.9 the previous and expected. So that means they're actually seeing a lower inflation than we previously were seeing. So that could potentially be a good sign for this market here. We also had the consumer expectations number above expectations as well as the current conditions. But the key prints here are going to be a higher than expected consumer sentiment print and a lower than expected inflations print. The market continuing to push to the upside. The NASDAQ up almost 1.5% this morning as Tesla continues to rally. Seeing lots of other rallies here. ONON on holdings. I couldn't find a catalyst for that, but worth noting that is running right now as well. Lots of strength in this market today as we have basically the real crux of earnings season beginning next week. We have CPRI. This one's still down about 46%. CAPRI Holdings and Tapestry here both impacted. Tapestry trading higher after a judge blocked here this acquisition of CAPRI by Tapestry. This followed an FTC suit, though Tapestry and CAPRI apparently intend to file a joint notice appealing this decision. So keep an eye on CPRI and TPR. Next up, we have SAVE, SAVE. This one continuing to run some resistance at this 320 level, but Spirit Airlines on watch. This is one of the many headlines this week saying they're actually planning on potentially reducing their workforce, amongst other measures, to save about $80 million annually. Also selling here 23 Airbus vehicles. So good look for SAVE. Keep an eye on these markets, guys.
I often get, thank you, Adara, for all of that. Let's just take a look quickly here at the sticky note for today. I mean, Palantir, you know, it's going to be, like I was mentioning, potentially P&L number 1 here today. Tesla right there, we have that, right? We have that trade. Apple, we miss it, but Apple's an absolute monster. FXI and SoFi. So if you're wondering like what positions I've been in today, it's been pretty simple here. There's Tesla. It is going to be a big trade, right? I mean, you guys have this trade on as well, I'm assuming. So there goes Tesla, absolutely huge, right? And then we just sort of have a little bit of a whisper play here. On FXI, don't tell anybody. Nice move to the upside rate there, right? 20 cents, like that's pretty smooth. We're out of half, actually a little bit more than half of our FXI. The Palantir trade, boom there. And then there's a 44 long right now as well. We're actually, guys, we're long. If you're joining me at the beginning here, our much bigger position is 43.70 down there, the level that we had talked about. And then SoFi, which is now falling in, we have 5% of this SoFi trade left right now, as we just got a whole bunch out there near the top side. So today, of course, will be a monster day over here, and we'll go 4 for 4, and they're all quite big. So good day there today if you're looking for big trades. We've definitely got them. We had that NVIDIA over there. We had Palantir, SoFi, Tesla. So they've all been like real good there. And then looking at DJT, Funware has been a good trade. Like so many things.
Google could have been there.
Google, I mean, Apple.
AMD is flying. AMD is on
Qs,
absolute crack.
Look at the NASDAQ.
Yeah, I can say that. AMD's on crack today.
Yeah, of course.
It's a 3 1/3%. It's blasting through. Even Intel's breaking out of resistance right now. I looked over at Intel. I'm like, yeah, that'd be not today. It's a resistance spot. I'm like, I'm not shorting that stock. It's like not the way that it's moving, not the way that anything is moving. So AMD, it's at a big spot. It needs to hold above 158.5. I don't want to punch the top here on something that we weren't really planning on trading. Ooh, let's go move on to something that I wasn't looking at pre-market and then punch the high of the day. Probably not, but I think you can at least respect if it can hold above the 158.5. That should look pretty good. All right, what you doing? I did get into SoFi for the first time. So remember there was that hammer that rejection candle or whatever you want to call it, got down to 11.10. I was looking for 11s. Now if it breaks that out, consolidation here, look for the play back into the high. That's going to be the name of the game. Tesla is, again, trying to dip. On a 15-minute, it hasn't really, it's like first red candle on the 15 with support at 267. So that's the first red candle on my 15-minute chart, and you've got 67 as support. So I want to see it actually break underneath 268. Look for the re-entry point underneath, in front of 267 and go from there. NVIDIA is still chilling at the 143. It's trying. It's broken a couple of times. We've already taken profit at that 43 level. We got to look to what is next, which I do feel like is going to be Tesla. And chill vibes, you're right. I feel like today and yesterday when the market was really paying everybody, I mean, except for the shorts, like what do you short today that would have worked? You could short something at maybe at the highs that would have been okay, but that's about it. And Nick's saying, look at Viking. Yeah, you know, that was another good one. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, of course, Viking Therapeutics broke out as well. Look at it go off that daily. Almost it's $80. You guys can see there on the daily chart. That would be the obvious target when it takes out this 75 high would be the 80. So the fact that it's turning towards it, I think, ringing the register, nothing wrong with that. BKTX, big run yesterday. Earnings play as well. And good luck for them in with that new drug. They're not that big. Production's going to be a problem for them. They'll probably have to team up with somebody.
I'm going to say I'm going to say Neil as well. I'm going to ask Randy for.
Oh, hell, yeah.
Randy.
Yeah,
okay, so I did ask him for y'all, for you. So, okay. All right, so hopefully Randy will come and save the day. No, okay, so we have less than 5% left of SoFi. We're not reloading the same level, but we are going to get out if it breaks 11.10 because, again, it has nothing to do with trying to keep the stock positive. I don't really care. It's just that is a key level. So we'll have to wait for that. SoFi will be my smallest. Well, no, actually, FXI will be my smallest P&L name. And today I didn't take as many shares on FXI as, maybe I would on other things. And I don't really know why. It's only a $31 name. So we'll reevaluate that trade. But again, I'm not reevaluating the trade, just the share size. We didn't take as much there. So it's not going to be, again, if it goes up, it could be right now. But my largest P&L name today, again, it's a battle between Palantir and Tesla. So, let's check out DraftKings. DraftKings was another name. Did I have anything else on my watch list today? No, just Apple, and we'd sort of talk. Oh, no. Okay, so this is fine. DraftKings there opens up underneath our 36.50 level. That was a level that I liked, but hey, you know what? This may be giving us a short opportunity right now. Let's do it. I think this is a good short. Well, okay, so my only problem with doing shorts now is what the market's doing. It's ripping. So I think we got to be a little bit careful here on what exactly we're talking about. I might get out of another piece here on Tesla. I feel maybe a little bit silly to do that. 268. Here it comes back upside. I'm still waiting. I don't actually have anything at 270. We already got a piece out right there at 269.30. So I feel like this could be a play. But again, yesterday, we let the thing run. Yesterday you can't have a $12, $7, $8 winner unless you let it go. And we let it go there on Tesla yesterday, and only to come back and be like, wow, we're all the way up here. Started cashing some out. Then we took that 260 break there at the end of the day, and that only went $2. So I'm wondering if that might happen up here at 270 where it goes, but then it doesn't really go. Like the day to me, I mean, there's so many people that were caught off base. I mean, we had even when we had our poll there, it was like 50-50 red and green, you know? It's just like, this is a way bigger move than anyone would have expected. That was 23% yesterday, another 25% in a day, basically a day and a half on Tesla, like that.
Not even a day and a half.
That is like, basically just one day. Like, you know, the report came out, it's 10 o'clock, and I mean, we're still going higher right now. So, you know, I like the stock, hard to find myself out of it right now, but I could see getting out of a piece, again, of a third of what we have left, which is now only, like I told you, we had 10%, now we only have 6% left of this trade, so it's not huge, but we were able to get that fill, which was really good. All right, so that's what we're doing now on Tesla today. Just looking for some more opportunities at the end of the day, and I think we might have found one here with DraftKings, and my play was to go short underneath this 50s. So I think we'll put on a small little short here and test that theory out. We'll go short right now on DraftKings.
Yeah, speaking of, I have a trail on trend on NVIDIA, not as strong as AMD today, but it's still up. It's holding VWAP, but it did fail 143 a couple times. CAPRI, which we didn't get the SSR bounce at the open, as you can see, it is pulling back and trying to consolidate for a break of this trend back in. So remember, short sell restricted. That usually means any bounce play, to me, I'm getting out at the fresh low. It just so happens to be exactly $22. If you try to, just remember, if you try to go short this stock by hitting the bid, you are going to get grouped to the offer unless there's an uptick. So the uptick rule is in effect. Obviously, it's down 47%. So that today and then on Monday, that will also be the case. So it needs to hold above trend. Going to get long if it holds above trend with a stop at the local bottom. Right now, that's 22. It has to hold. If it doesn't, then forget about it. Not going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. All right, so DJT is doing this, where it's trying to break the high again. So trying to break out that high. If it does another rejection of the high, then I'm going to get into fun again, looking for the same kind of entry. Now, when it broke the high, we're already trailing out above $10 anyways, that last 5%. So looking for the same kind of entry if it fails that top. So on mine right now is, obviously, didn't really get 67s on Tesla. That hasn't really come in. It's going to be CAPRI. If it breaks that trend, it's going to be Tesla, which it doesn't seem to want to give me anything down here close to the 267.
Let's
can still break out the top. We'll have to take something probably just underneath 268. That's where the money fills, it looks like, have been. And by money fills, I just mean where you can actually get the stock with regards to that key even dollar level.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, we just said that Tesla probably goes back up to 270, so we're going to hold on to a piece there. I'm actually going to put an offer. Last time it's broken these levels, we've gone up about 20 cents and kind of stopped. So we'll put an offer at 270.20 right there to take $8, $7 on that if it does come into play there. All right, DraftKings did what we thought, or starting to move a little bit here, despite the market coming down. I'm bidding 25s here. Maybe I'm going to change that and just bid some 26s maybe well, here, let's just see if it comes in, whatever. We'll just be part of that. Hopefully, I mean, if this is going to be a big trade, it needs to flush through 25s anyways, right? So let's see if we could take a dime. We already took some small at 26s there for 5%. We're waiting for about 10% or so at 25, and then another 10% at 20, and then we'll wait to see if we can dance with 36 one more time right there. But it looks like another fail there to the top side for Tesla. So it just failed off of 269 right there. I mean, I really think it wants to go, but we did like 300 million shares yesterday, and right now today you're already at 47 million.
You're on target.
So let's just, I'm gonna get, you know what? Let's just get another piece out if it gets back up into that level. We don't, you know, I mean, it's such a small amount though. We just want to make the right decisions. It's like, we always hear these, you know, some of our traders will say, oh, I'm going back into simulation to get the reps and stuff like that. You're never going to find me going into simulation, but this is kind of like simulation now. If I only have 5 or 6% left of this trade, although it still might be a decent size of shares, it's just a work in patience right now. So we'll wait to see if it can get that price. We've now seen it a couple times. We don't want to be stubborn, right? That's like 5 tops, 6 tops. I mean, it hasn't broken this where we got out right there. It hasn't broken higher since 10 I mean, it's only 10.15 right now, but it hasn't broken since 9.55 there, that level. And then now there is the move back in there for NVDA, or sorry, for Tesla. So,
ooh, I just got trailed on NVIDIA. The market might be making a little bit of a top here. Yeah, we're right back underneath on the NASDAQ.
XI is here.
We're right back underneath the previous high. So on the 15-minute chart of the NASDAQ, you're essentially kind of pulling back off of that top, 20,660, it looks like. So NVIDIA trailed out. It was a trend trail. Finally closed underneath. And I was like, I don't want to get out of it. So I'll just give it to that bottom, see if we can get underneath VWAP. But Tesla, obviously, look at the candle when it actually tested 67. That's not bullish. That's actually pretty bearish. So wait for VWAP. VWAP happens to be 265.
Yeah.
So on a Friday, options, the fact that 60 and 70 were already levels, 65, obviously that's going to be VWAP. Not rocket science there. So 270 top, 260 breakout, 265 is what we have to be patient for to wait. And I did not get Funware because, like I said, it's short sell restricted, which means when it rolled over and I saw DJT break underneath the bottom, couldn't get the bid. So I couldn't get short, couldn't get filled. You got to chase it down, and I'm not chasing it quite that far. I'll look to something underneath VWAP, but again, it was only in the last 5%. DJT broke the high, and I looked for entry point. We didn't end up getting it. Is what it is, but I should still be in that. I just heard something on Tapestry, but I didn't catch the entire story. But either way, the next thing is going to be Tesla and VWAP. So we're here for you. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you got a name in the chat or something you want to ask us about or talk about, it's a subs-only chat. Hit that subscribe right now and engage with us all you want. And hopefully we get to engage with a Tesla bounce off VWAP in a minute or two.
Yeah, it's really, make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe. We're trying to, okay, guys, I was gonna say we got out to 64s. Look, the thing about having multiple trades and multiple ideas is you have to have the right way, you know, and today we are only long right now early, and we really cashed out. Palantir is right now at the highs. That interview with Alex Karp yesterday on the closing bell was absolutely amazing. I really am over the moon with my position in that one. Wow, FXI now. I was just saying, like, man, we are not playing around, by the way, anymore. As we sit here and trade, like, this is serious trading right now. This is real trading. When you're going 4 for 4 on all of your ideas, and they're actually really big trades. I mean, this is something to, definitely for me to celebrate today, as we have another day right now. We're actually very similar to our net right now than we were yesterday. Nice move upside right now as this market continues to climb. So yeah, let's take as much advantage of this as possible right now, guys, and see if we get a nice little hit down into the downside now with DraftKings, and that's even working out right now. That's a dime piece here. So yeah, we're really liking what we're trying to do here in this market today. Thank you, Randy, for that. It's been a banger of a day, man. Tesla did it again, dude. It went up to 270 there. 270, and look at this trade. Look at this, 263, bang, right there, huge one. Neil had 260s as it's trying to go upside right now. We're gonna wait to see what happens around 268 right now. It's Tesla. Look at my friend Palantir, Randy. This was a nice one too. That's a Dollar Club winner there. Palantir bottom to top, and it keeps on going. So far so good. We'll wait. We got the China trade on as well. That trade's working out for us. So yeah, man, so far so good. Yeah, sorry about that.
You could smell it. Yeah, Randy. No, you can definitely smell the market green, that's for sure. By the way, Google didn't even go down on that last little market move to the downside. Still going to be focused on Tesla off of this bounce here. Get a real job, they say. That was somebody in the chat.
Who says
whose name is Get a Real Job, they say. Would you look at NEO? Yeah, sure. NEO bouncing off $5. NEO support at $5. NEO needs to break out above about 535. But yeah, good look for the Chinese names. You saw with Sean with FXI and NEO getting dragged up with them. I mean, all the EVs were up. Li Auto was up more in the pre-market, but the $5 level looks fantastic for NIO. It just seems to support that every single time. No breakout of the high just yet, but Alphabet it's just turning into the one that got away. Oh, now it is backing off the highs that it finally got to 165. So this might be a dip opportunity for Alphabet. That said, you're much closer to VWAP on Tesla than you are on Alphabet. Alphabet's got a ways to drop before it gets in there, whereas Tesla, it's already at 66 in here. If it holds 66 and starts a rounded bottom there, then it's just going to be a 66 long instead of a 65 long. But while it's trending back down now, got to wait for it to get to the price, right? It's clearly in a bit of a downward trend, at least locally there on Tesla. Havana Woody asked me, where would I go long on Funware? I don't know, like, would I go long Funware? Why not just be long if you think they're going to go? Why not just be long somewhere on DJT?
Yeah.
I'm just kind of waiting for DJT to fail. See it already happen and punch short Funware. But DJT's the strong one, and Funware, the CEO left, and I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather look for DJT, like maybe off of VWAP or something like that. But I'm just using this as an indicator for Funware, that's all.
All right. Yeah, this FXI trade is really starting to work out for us. I mean, we had, I was confident in this trade to the point where, like, I was like, let's ask Michael Noss what he thought about it. And I mean, yeah, he didn't really say anything about it. He just wanted to look at it. But there goes FXI right here, man. I mean, we like this trade back into the 200 period moving average right there. And again, if you're looking for a resource, guys, please go over. Every day I talk about it, and I'm only doing it for you guys. We have 50,000 followers. It's the sticky note. It gets a lot. I have to refresh the views. It's about 3,000 to 4,000, 5,000 views a day. So there are traders looking at this. Make sure, yeah, there it is, 3,700 there today on a light Friday. Normally it gets about 5, but Palantir, Tesla, Apple, FXI. There's FXI right there, 31.75. That's the low of the day, 31.75 right there. So if you are looking for opportunities and then want to watch me trade those opportunities, that's it right there. So there we have 76s, right? So we have 80s, sorry, but we did have that dip did go down into 76. That was the low of the day there for FXI. And oh boy, we take one short. Wow. And I mean, Neil, we're going to be 5 for 5 today. And I mean, it's a way to end the week, that is for sure. Let's take some more out here on FXI and then just celebrate that, man. No Brendan, no cry today as we start to really do some damage here in the markets. Holding Palantir 70 cents, holding Tesla $3, man. FXI 25 cents, DraftKings now 11 cents, and looking to get out some more here on DKNG. So just a great day. Thank you. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and just make sure you're here. We do have the midday. It's with, is it Satya today, I guess? Yeah, okay, so that would make sense. Joe was yesterday, so join Satya and Sharif on the midday as Adair getting ready for a segment. So we'll throw to that soon, and then after that we'll come back and we've already got the lunch menu, so we'll be dropping that for all y'all very, very soon. But for right now, though, it is a recap of small nature that we call the small cap recap.
Indeed, we're going to take a look at some of these small cap runners and the IWM, which is actually holding support pretty beautifully here at previous resistance on this 15-minute chart around 220.50. So let's see if the Russell can break above that previous support at 222, which we're currently fighting to break above as of this point. UAVS has been a watch for the last few days here. On Tuesday, the CEO of Egg Eagle Aerial Systems basically wrote the strategic letter talking about its actions for shareholders. So shareholder letter here on Tuesday. It's been watched ever since. We do have a 720,000 share float for UAVS and a pretty small float. 9% of it's going to be sold short. Now we have a 760,000 share float, so only slightly larger float here for UPXI. This company here is announcing that they're going to be looking to take action against what they believe is stock manipulation. They've also issued this 220,000 share, they're looking here to issue 220,000 shares requested here after their reverse split. So UPXI with the potential stock issuing here, and then also announcing they're looking to take actions against manipulative actions. We have ARBB, ARB IoT. This is a penny stock that's run before, kind of chopping around here, finding some clear resistance. Not seeing any catalyst on this, but again, previous runner and about a $40 million market cap for ARBB.
ARB.
ARB that.
I mean, yeah, that's the first, whatever. It doesn't matter what it's called. Every trader in the world is just going to go ARB when they hear that one. So I'm into CAPRI, but we're also into Tesla. But that one, you obviously, like you saw it go to 266 and not 65. So VWAP's a line on a chart, and it's a good line on a chart. Obviously, you want to wait. Ideally, it's going to get to that line, but it actually holds up at 266. I want to see it get through 270. Again, I still think 270 is a breakout trade. So profits into 270, and then still a breakout through 270. I think that's going to I don't want to say it's going to happen. It's at least going to try to get there. And if it breaks 270, I think almost any time of the day you want to take it. CAPRI is heading downside. It actually broke that prior low, by the way, on CPRI. So it didn't break trend until just now. The drop down never goes default to the thing the market's on. So it did break trend line and now right back in. And I was like, no, it's too far from the low of the day. I almost shouldn't be in it. So immediately took some out. And again, it usually should be closing above the trend. The first thing I did is take half out. I'm like, if it's going to go off the low of the day, fair enough. That's $21.50. But it hasn't actually closed above the trend line here, which to me is not the good entry that I'm looking for. So going to get out and then wait for it to actually set up, which is holding above that trend line there in CAPRI. Like, that's the rule. It has to close above trend, and then I want the long, not as it's breaking. That's a little bit too early. So slap an L on CAPRI. It's an SSR bounce play, which means it's valid for today and it's valid for Friday as well. Alphabet, we're finally into Google as it bounced off 165. So maybe you get VWAP, maybe you get the first available even dollar on Alphabet. Now it's headed back into the high of the day. Up 2% is Google.
Yes, sir.
And they're flying. Like, look at this. The other thing about Google, 50 period hold, 200 period moving average hold. Simultaneously, this thing is breaking $170 next week, and there's almost no questions asked. Every trader in the world is going to be breaking that one long at $170. I love Google, and I think they're going to be a big-time winner. They get so much negative flack for what they're not doing in AI. What are we talking about? I'm getting the flip phone when it happens, and the AI features are great that they already have. Everyone's just all complacent about them because Apple and Meta are so good. So what? Everybody can win. Everybody can win. It's not a zero-sum game.
Everybody does win, man. Yeah, I mean, Google's actually performing better, I think, this year than maybe even Apple and Microsoft. We'll have to double-check those.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah. Definitely more than Microsoft. Apple's only up 19% this year, but Apple's having a move today, which is real nice. Look, we've anointed Google the next one weeks and months ago as it was holding that level, so I think it will go. All right, I mean, we don't have to worry about a next one when we have the current one right now. We already have Palantir. Palantir's in our account. It's been an absolute monster trade on the retail side and on the trading side. And I don't even know what to do anymore as it just continues to go higher. And every time I get out, I look over and it's like, what have I done? And there it goes, man, another 3%. But we said that we do one thing here, and let's go over what's for lunch. I'm just going to hold all these. Like, we're having basically, the biggest day of the week is actually right now. Happening right here on this account. So, all right, good morning. Here is the lunch for today. Not bad. Day here, a little too heavy for lunch in my opinion. We have some 3-cheese cannelloni today with rotini pasta bolognese. Okay, so you get the cannelloni and the bolognese. All right, this is very interesting. Normally you only get one or the other. You don't. Like on a menu, you don't have pasta with a side of pasta, but I guess maybe that is what we're having right now. Garlic bread, yeah, why not? Apparently it's happening right here. And then you also get more carbs with your... Ramin, calm down, all right? Calm down. Right now, garlic bread with cheese as a side, and then you also have the spinach salad with baby tomatoes, cucumbers, mushrooms, and some julienne carrot. Everybody, that is...
A lot of carbs.
Well, that's what I was saying. The 3-cheese cannellonis with the pasta, with the garlic bread as well. I feel like we've been wearing these glasses all week, the way we've been seeing some of these, some of the markets, and it's just been an absolute barn burner of a day. We're $1 in the money here, Sharif, on Palantir alone. I did see Carp there yesterday. That guy is an absolute assassin. I will. I absolutely love that guy. And he's done really well for the Katina family. So Palantir right now continues to climb higher and higher and higher. We like the stock, we like the name, and we really enjoy trading. And we enjoy being here with you every single day and just keeping it as real as possible. Like yesterday, you're like, how could we do it again? How could we do it? But look at the numbers that we're putting up right here. Long Tesla there, long Google. We have them right there in front of you. We do not hide any of our positions at all. And let's go. Palantir is right. Right now, we get ready to celebrate, hopefully, a victory on this name. But it's already been a huge victory. But let's see if we can break through 45. I'm going to take a piece out right now and let's go over to Adara.
Keep an eye on Vale, V-A-L-E, up nicely here, about 3%. They are also halted pending news. So I will keep an eye here. If I see any news here and the reaction on VALE as well as an open time, I will let you guys know for VALE.
You know what? It'd be interesting. Well, I guess we can trade it in Brazil. I wonder if it's actually open over there in Brazil, Vale. And again, sometimes...
The only Vale I have is for my cars, you know what I'm saying?
I'm never... You know what? I've used it like a Vale once.
Yeah, I've never used it.
Once. And not really my thing. The gunners are on. It's such a strong day in the market that even Intel is up 3.5%. I said I wasn't looking for I wasn't going to short at resistance, but probably should have just taken the breakout long. There isn't even a red candle on this stock. So anything this strong, first pullback, 23 even, if it was resistance before, why can't it be support after? That's 23, that's 22.80. As far as I'm concerned, this one is still in the pocket. We do have, Tesla is headed back for 270, at least trying to get back to 270. It tags 67, it tags 68. It'll probably tag 69 if you take the stair steps up, because last I checked, when you count to 70, you got to go through 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Really?
And if that changes, then I'm in a world of trouble at that point. So yeah, chill vibes. Tesla for sure going to test 270 and possibly break. We don't know if it's going to break or not, but I promise you this, when it gets to 69, my stop order is going in. It'll be stop 270.01 and then my bid 270.11, because that's what I've been putting in on all these even dollar breaks, and the fills have been working for the most part. So we'll see what happens in there. Are we ready yet? Oh, wait a minute. I just saw in the chat, Ving just said anyone shorting SMCI. Be careful shorting anything today. I think this is one of those days where, like, have a very specific setup if you want to go short. Like, either it's a weak stock, that works. Funware was working to the downside on its own, but like monster level or trend reverse or actually doing something negative. Like, that is very, very bullish on SMCI like the rest of the market. But hey, when you're trading, it's easy enough to do when you're trading someone else's money to go any way you want to go, because it's not your money, it's someone else's money. And we're thrilled to announce Trader TV and Trader TV's friend Trade the Pool has a big time giveaway. 7 traders, count them, 7 are going to get $20,000 in buying power to trade with. This is your opportunity to start trading and getting funded with Trade the Pool for free. The registration runs from the 21st of October to the 25th. That's right, ends today. And the winners will be announced on October 29th. Don't miss your chance to get funded. Trade the Pool is a prop trading firm that funds stock traders through a unique evaluation model. The firm allows traders to trade over 12,000 stocks and ETFs, including penny stocks, with the freedom to trade during pre-market or after hours and bypass the PDT rule. Traders who pass the evaluation receive funds and share profits with the company. Join now for free. The link is in the description. Thank you very much. Shout out to Trade the Pool there, and good luck to anybody that joins them. Again, trading someone else's money, always a little bit easier, like we do here on our platform. Easier to have that internal discipline when it's built with that external discipline that you will get. So SMCI, it's a rocket ship. I mean, that's all I wanted to get at. I mean, if you were going to try to short things like big monster level, have some kind of an entry plan like a mean reversion, I would suppose. But yeah, I'm not trying to fight something like that. It's not going to happen for myself. The Qs are continuing to press higher. I mean, AMD, so
the market is amazing.
Alphabet just made another run at the high and pulled right back in there. So this time, let's see if it can bounce off 165. It loses 65, I think you're headed to VWAP. VWAP at $164.50 on Alphabet. What else we got going? I mean, Mara's been making some moves, and we're about to go to crypto with Adara, and Mara's about to break VWAP. Good timing.
We know earlier this year, of course, we had spot BTC and then spot Ethereum ETFs approved in the US. Japan might be looking to do the same here. Apparently, a group of Japanese companies have been in discussions about what they would necessarily be looking to have here for ETFs. They said they're going to be focusing right now on major tokens like Bitcoin and Ethereum. So they'd really be echoing what happened here in the US. They said because they have a larger market value and, quote, a stable track record, it'd be better for building investors. So potentially we're going to be getting some BTC and Ethereum ETFs coming out of Japan here. So interesting story there. Bitcoin nicely recovering from that little snafu we had earlier this week when we dipped into 65,000. Right now we're actually trying to curl back to previous resistance from the start of the week here and the end of last week around that 69.2 level. Let's see if Bitcoin can build off of yesterday's momentum. As of right now, we're actually looks like we're high of days here for BTC against the USD, currently at 68.7. Ethereum also doing nicely today, up about the same percentage as Bitcoin, 1.5%, and hanging on to that 2,500 level as of right now. Solana also up nicely, about 1%. BNB up about 0.75%. Tron and Cardano up. But some of these other coins and crypto-related names a little bit weaker. Toncoin down about 2%. We've got slight weakness here in Ripple. Generally, though, a little bit more strength than weakness for Bitcoin or for crypto as we end this week, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I was just going to say, thanks for that weakness there in crypto, but Bitcoin right now, 69,000.
It's getting
great number. I'm excited for the election to see what winds up happening
this weekend,
to crypto right there. All right, the short's still working here. I was just going to go over a short because the market is just hovering right now. I don't think there's anything wrong with looking for shorts right now. You know, you're up to that 20,700 again. I mean, look at what the NASDAQ is doing. It's crazy, right? I mean, okay, here we go. I mean, you're right up to these tops again, and we broke through. So now, I mean, I think we can get a lot higher on this name than we even think. I mean, if you look at a daily chart right now for the NASDAQ, there you go. You are now just points away. I mean, we're at 20,700 right now. That wick high is 20,000. I actually see worse with these glasses. 20,000, basically 21,000 has been pretty much the high. I mean, that's 20,983, probably an intraday wick, but the highest closing price is about that 900 marker. So, yeah, wow, Bitcoin carrying the day, NASDAQ starting to go upside as well. So I don't blame a short against those levels, but I mean, for right now, the sky seems to be, you know, pretty green up ahead there. So, or as they say, blue skies set up. We'll just one more, and then I'll throw it back over to Neil as Tesla's breaking down. We've done nothing different on Tesla. You guys know my plan. All right, FXI right there. We got a huge out right there. Just to tell you guys right now, we have 20% left of FXI. That's all.
Yeah, I'm out of about half, actually no, 2/3 of Tesla. As it tries to come back into VWAP, this is a little bit different than the VWAP bounce yesterday. It's not distinctly different, but this is what happened when it tested VWAP yesterday. I mean, it was a straight shot to a higher low and then into like an algo buy is the best way to describe what happened between 11 o'clock and 11:30. So like it was just an algo buy and it was a clean VWAP. Now you're double tapping VWAP, so it's definitely different. If it loses this support, I want out because I'm expecting, if a different move in, I don't think it bounces clean off 265. I think that's going to be way too obvious. And if it breaks this lower high, I'm going to look for like rinse people out and go back to this opening range bottom at the 63, or just a retake of 265 on the way back to the upside. Capri definitely, you know what? Capri wasn't bamboozlement. I broke my entry rule, and I paid the price for it. And the entry rule is simple. Close above the trend line, go into the long. I got long early against the rule and ended up stopping myself out because I'm like, I shouldn't be in the position. And then on the way back up, I don't get the fill. We tried to get some down here at the 70 level. I did not get it. I ended up getting it at 87. So we end up with not the position that we want. VWAP is already starting to come into Capri, but there goes Tesla hunting for VWAP as we speak. So I'm not turning a red one green. It's a little bit more stair-step down than it was before.
Green one, red.
Green one, yeah, you're right. Green one. Yeah, I said that the wrong way around. That's my bad. But now looking for that 265 and VWAP bounce here on Tesla. It's been respecting these even dollars, like 67, 66. So I don't care where VWAP is. I feel like you got to let it run this 65 level, as every single dollar level has been a bit of a magnet. It's getting to it. If it tests to it, it's getting to that even dollar almost all morning long. So let's see it get to 65. And then if it can bounce off, we'll try to get back to the upside there.
I don't see a poll.
I missed that, Fabian.
He said there was a poll out there.
There is a poll. I saw it. Here we go. First of all, if you want to engage in the chat or you want to be in this poll, then you got to hit the subscribe button. What kind of stocks do you trade between these four? That was kind of the majority is going to be mega caps. I'll trade mid caps and small caps as well. The last time I traded ETF was IBIT and IWM on Fed Day. But yeah, mega caps usually the bulk because it's like every single day there's at least one mega cap that is on the trade plan. Right. Minimum, absolute minimum. So there's a break of 265 on Tesla. Again, I'm not sitting on that bid. I want to see it come back and hold that level. Let's go over and take care of some biz.
Yeah, same thing I'm looking for, that Tesla. But you know what, guys? I mean, you can't do any of this trading without a reliable piece of software. You have to have the trading platform and you have to have your charting platform. And why not join us here by using eSignal? I've been using it for over 22 years, and all the boys right here live on our show will start to use it in November. So you're going to see a lot more of this. So join us here, guys, every single day as we'll trade the markets and use the best software. Infinite data, instant trading, charting that changes the game. Better back testing and scanning, reliable real-time data, everything you need to know in one place. I think it's going to be great for my guy over here to the left of me with Sharif, because they have great scanners. They're going to be awesome for intraday movers. It's going to be great for those small cappers. It's going to be made for those big gappers. It's going to be made for those mega cap clappers. So there it is, man. It is all in one. It is eSignal, and your boy is lit today, as you can clearly see. So, all right, get that ad off the screen and go sponsor eSignal. Get that QR code and get it popping off right there, because we've got trading to do right there. But what we don't have to do is bye-bye Tesla. We will get out there as it breaks back down through VWAP and get out of that trade. And then now here to tell you that the #1 P&L name today is going to be Palantir now, because it is at the highs, and that one was really well traded for me to the upside. A lot of the outs here are at 70. There's no doubt about that. Was not really expecting this kind of a move today, but we get it. They had deal news yesterday with L3H, and now you're going to see Palantir continue to climb a little bit higher. Out of Tesla, guys, broke through VWAP. We had 6% left, okay, of our trade. So we'll actually wind up making I guess we'll make it. I'll have to double check. I'll have to make a similar amount there on on Tesla than we did there yesterday. A little bit less, of course, because we had a big winner yesterday. But anyways, there goes Tesla. Nice trading there. FXI a little bit downside to the basement, and we only have, well, actually, we still have 25% of DraftKings left as it's trying to make a move higher as well. It's only 10:40. It's not even really that late.
You know, betting is what's interesting about the. DraftKings should be down because of the absolute debacle at the end of that game last night that ruined the over-under on Matt Stafford's line. But before we go to Adara, I got to get to this super chat.
No, Darnold's line.
Also, Darnold's line.
But anybody that's worried about Sam Darnold's line maybe should 1-800-GAMBLING.
You probably are gambling too much. No, Nicole Harris had a super chat here. I don't think we got to this. Thank you so much, Nicole. Morning coffee, still no news on Intel. My 5 calls are now 35. There is news. Intel shares trading higher. They announced plans for an initial investment of over $28 billion to construct 2 new chip factories in Licking County, Ohio. Licking County, Ohio. That's true. I had to read that twice. That's really the name of the place. That's really cool. No, but Adara did bring that news, so I want to make sure you got that, Nicole. There is something behind that move in Intel, because quite frankly, it needs to have something behind it to go up.
There goes.
Intel's not going up on its own. That's just how it is. Let's get to Adara, I believe,
actually,
for Sector Watch.
It is worth noting, too, for Intel, that is the story, but that story actually didn't come out until a little bit later, at least that we could find. Initially, all we were seeing on social media was Intel plans to invest $28 billion, not saying where or with whom, but yes, they have been confirmed there. Reuters confirming Intel investing $28 billion in Ohio for one of its chip plants. So great look at Intel, one of many names pretty strong here in electronics technology. Technology services also a great look. I want to talk about Meta here, because Meta actually getting a positive analyst note there from Bernstein, calling a set it and forget it stock. They're doing great today, clearing that 580 level. All the Mag 7's really strong. We have Amazon holding on to the Fortin retail trade up almost 2%. Tesla a little bit removed from its highs today, but still up almost 2% on a really strong day 2 from their earnings. Health services looking great with the exception of HCA, which had an earnings miss across the board this morning. We do have a bit of a mixed performance in finance, health technology, producer manufacturing, commercial services, communications, and utilities. But you have to keep an eye on these tech sectors, because we know next week is going to be when big tech earnings really kick in, guys.
I was just telling Sean, like I was actually considering getting into. I didn't getting into Viking at the open in my personal account, and just didn't pull the trigger. Should have pulled that trigger. Viking is, it's at $80. Remember, like, okay, $80 is the next level on Viking Therapeutics. Well, we're there, and it's gorgeous for VKTX. It just continues to go higher. Yeah, hopefully someone's in that one. That's absolutely nuts. Okay, that's an interesting note on Licking, Ohio. Ooh, Paolo, my girlfriend went missing and licking. I hope I hope that you're just punning us there and that's not actually true. But Viking is an absolute monster. This was a missed opportunity, but you can't be mad.
Someone's girlfriend went missing in that city?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
it seems kind of. I think you're just being trolled.
we're being trolled.
I think we're being trolled. But look, you can't be too mad over missing trading opportunities in the open today if you were focused on Teslas. Just like yesterday, you won't have gotten Google. You probably didn't get Google at the bottom. At least I didn't, because it just went straight to the upside. There were no dip buys. You had bids out there. You're not going to get them because they couldn't have possibly filled because the stock just went up. Now Tesla just failed VWAP again. This is looking distinctly different. It tried to hold 265. This is why you wait for confirmation. That is the opposite of confirmation, that candle. You don't have to be a charter market technician to see that's a rejection of 265, a rejection of VWAP now. So you got to wait. And waiting is, for me, it doesn't have to be 260, because on the daily chart, like that's about 262, kind of hard to see. Yesterday's top, that 262, the late break at 260 went to 262. So I think that's the level to look for. So I'm going to be waiting very patiently here for the 262 level to come in, 62 or 60. Now you're in a downward trend on Tesla. I'm just going to wait around for those. Alphabet is, I mean, it's still holding 265, but downward trending as well. So it needs to hold 65, round off the top. Otherwise, I'm getting out underneath the 65 and waiting for VWAP on Alphabet. So for now, like all the exuberant long trades have pretty much come out. CAPRI is a bounce play. Like I said, I bamboozled myself on the first one with, I broke my execution plan, did not get in. Like the idea would be getting long, like either in here or in there, and I didn't do that. I actually got in before, or as it was breaking the trend line, which is not the idea. It's after it's already broke the trend line. So I said Alphabet had the whole 165. It just broke it. I'm out, waiting for VWAP or waiting for a rounded bottom to enter back into the long. We'll see what happens, man. Urso just said, sell this ish right now. You know what's interesting is the first place I looked for was...
What ish?
No, my first thing I was looking at was a mean reversion on Intel. So they're opening up a new plant. That just means they're spending a bunch of money. It's not a bad catalyst, but like the mean reversion on Intel is the first thing I thought about at this market curl. So close underneath, VWAP retrace. So just a setup that I like, and it's basically doing it now. So this is since it gained VWAP, that's the trend, and now it looks like it's going to close underneath. So I'm going to get a BATS midpoint, because that's it's my favorite entry key on Intel is a BATS mid, because then if it's at 22 by 23, I get like a 22 half. Again, if it breaks out this top, that's pretty clean there at 23.30. If it breaks 23.30, this is what I want to. This is where I want to get out. I don't care about that wick per se, because it's a trend reversal. The fact that it's even re-challenging the high is not good. It doesn't need to get to that top wick. It needs to break, to me, back out above the trend line. So I'm into Intel at 22 half, stops at the 30. VWAP sits here just underneath 23 bucks, but I would expect there'd be some kind of a bid at the even dollar, because it is Intel after all.
My poor wife letting me know that she has to go do an assembly.
Why is that bad?
Those are fun. Yeah,
I love assemblies. I never get to do that stuff.
Yeah. So she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, your parents never came, Ramin. Yeah, I kind of feel like we could tell that, Ramin.
You know what?
Same here.
Right
wow.
But yeah,
But you know this is true. One of the best moments is when you go and like you see your kid looking out for you.
Yeah.
They're like, where's mom, where's dad? And then when they find you, the smile, and it's not just when I see my daughter do it, it's when every kid finds their parent, and like the smile, it's like it's the best feeling in the whole world. You get happy for other kids when it happens, and it's like, trust me, it's the greatest.
Yeah, I mean, that's why.
Happy, but it's
I mean, that's literally why I'm talking about it right now, because I mean, I've been blessed enough to have been able to give Marissa the opportunity to be at home to raise these kids, and it's been really something that's meant a lot to our family, and that's why it's like I really, really want her to be able to enjoy those things. That's why I say that that's funny that she talks like that. So of course she loves to go. She's not anymore. She's given it up to someone else. But she was the president of the parent council and all of that. So I feel again really blessed to some of the opportunities that day trading and everything has given me, and investing and all that kind of stuff in general. So I do feel blessed to have given that opportunity, and she loves to do it. So I love her for that one. Okay, so that is that.
We're all getting all
so,
sappy on a Friday. Let's do it.
No, I ain't sappy at all, my guy.
You can hear the love in the voice.
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone hears the love and the passion in my voice every day. But okay.
What up, Marissa?
So yeah. She's not. Well, she's at the assembly now, but she was probably watching earlier. Right there. All right, so let's go. There it is. DraftKings. Okay, so that's the only. I was just looking at something. That's the only short that I have on right now is DraftKings. So we'll wait to see where this goes. But yeah, so far so good. Tesla's at your level, by the way.
It is right here, right now, and it's falling like an absolute rock. This is the opposite of support down here. It's not looking at all good. You can like a level. I actually said this. This was lesson of the day yesterday. Was you can like a level all you want, but if it's not behaving in any fashion that you're interested in, you don't have to take along. Does it look like along at that price? Not yet. Let it set up along at that price. Let it make a bottom. Let it make a rounded bottom. Let it make a higher low. Let it give you some kind of a trade indication that you're not just fighting it. Like that was the idea behind Intel, just very quickly. Like, okay, fine, I'm looking for a short, but I'm not just gonna pick, oops, my trend line's gone, I didn't hit save. So I'm not just gonna pick, oh, this is the high of the day, 2330 random number, let's go short. It also does happen to be a level on Intel, but let it show a setup pattern that I like, which is a mean reversion trade. And this is actually a level on Intel. 2330 actually is a bit of a level. It doesn't matter. But Tesla is starting to burn back in now 261. So suddenly it's either 260 or, hey, if we were talking about mean reversion, there is a steep trend. I'm talking about since it got VWAP, it's forming a steep trend to the downside. So either break the trend back or bounce off of $260. And 260 is coming in right quick. This is so different from yesterday because you had to bank your profit on Tesla as opposed to just hold on to it forever, which was a lot easier to do when it never got VWAP the second time. That was the biggest difference.
Okay, I'm still sitting there at 264 Tesla to see if we can get that bounce into that level. Looks like we might have just bounced it right there. Yesterday, I was taking them a little bit earlier than the key level. Looks like that might have been the case here again today. Taking it ahead of 260 was probably the right play instead of waiting for that exact level right there. All right, so we'll wait for that ITRM getting FDA approval for something. So just hold on a second. Okay, there it is, halted right now. So there we go. Right now, it's a flosser right there. If you're long on, why would you be? Yesterday though, we had a nice little candle upside there. ITRM. So if you are working, at the FDA, maybe you're long, but right there, 115 up to 140 right there with a nice little mover. All right, let's go back over to the desk. It's 10:50. It's Money Talks.
Also worth keeping an eye on Tesla here because Semaphore reporting that apparently the head of NASA has said that these conversations that Elon Musk allegedly had with Vladimir Putin, that's as reported by Wall Street Journal, should be investigated. So Semaphore reporting that the NASA head is, I guess, suggesting that Elon Musk should be investigated for his alleged conversations with Vladimir Putin. Look at this DXY here. We were just positive, now we're barely red. Bit of a doji candle here, and look where we're forming it. This has been repeated support here for the DXY going back to April 2024. So let's see if we end up finding a little bit of a base or push higher or careen lower from this 104 level. We did get quite a lot of economic data today. Higher than expected Michigan goods numbers across the board here. So Michigan goods negative 8% versus negative 1.1% expected. Core goods month over month for September, positive 4 versus negative 0.1 expected, so higher than expected. Also higher than expected was the 6-month high we got for consumer sentiment here for October, 70.5 versus 68.9 estimate and prior. Now, we also had here, it's worth noting, a lower than expected Michigan inflation expectation, so 2.7% versus 2.9% expected. We have Fed's call-in speaking at 11 a.m. That is really the only other economic data on the docket today. Let's see how everything unfolds next week as we continue to await, now just 2 weeks away, the November FOMC decision, guys.
Oh yeah, when is?
Oh my goodness, that's right.
Decision?
We're so focused on, this is sort of the thing. I think we're in a spot in the market now where earnings are such a big deal, as you can obviously see with Tesla, as you already saw. We haven't even talked, when was the last time we talked about Netflix? Netflix blew it out of the water too. So we're not even talking, like it's all about earnings right now. I'm actually forgetting about the FOMC on a day-to-day basis because who cares when you have Tesla 22%, when you have, it was 11% on Netflix, I believe. When we got the big cap tech bad boys coming in the next couple of weeks, that's where the big earnings are going to be. I think Alphabet's going to be fantastic. Microsoft, we'll see about Microsoft. They're the ones, I don't know, they've been languishing a little bit. Disappointing on Microsoft, but that's what it's all about. It's all about tech earnings at this point. The Fed does matter, so indications have been that they might slow down. Intel did bounce off 23 because even dollar levels, every 25 cents just seems to matter on Intel. So there's 23 bucks. It already bounced once. I have another bid down here at like 3s and then into VWAP. So VWAP retracement on a trend break down. And I'm looking for, whoops, I just typed Intel again. On Tesla.
That Tesla bounced so nicely.
It's making a trend. I mean, if you
watch 260 for
like, this is a trend break. It's now closing back above with a lower high, 261.5. So if it holds on to that trend bottom, this would be like, it has to close above. It hasn't really confirmed that we're actually holding this, closing above the trend line, at least for now. But this won't be true until we get the close of that bar and then maybe a bounce into VWAP. Otherwise, it's the 260 level where this thing broke out from in the first place.
Bar down. Okay, so that's what my daughter tries to do all the time. Bar down, you know, and it means when you hit the, you hit the bar right down into the net. So it's like boom. It's like basically the goalie can almost never save it, but she's wild. That one, man. Oh wow, so proud of her. She got invited to like an elite thing in Virginia Beach over the summer for hockey. I think you're gonna hear. We'll see. She's 10 years old. 10 years old. Oh man. Okay, I'm just glad that my wife is also like obsessed with her development in hockey, because the things that those two do together is unbelievable. Yesterday she had, again, and this goes to, again, being able to do this. I mean, it's not in everybody's schedule, but like she had practice yesterday at the Ford Performance Center there where the Leafs and the Marlies practice, and it was 5:15. You know, like that's almost going to be impossible for someone that works downtown to get to that. And then right after that, 5:15 to 6:15, and then they do dry land training after that. And it gets dark here pretty early, so they were doing that yesterday, and she actually slipped on the wet grass. I'm like, why are they doing it even outside? That doesn't seem very reasonable to me, but okay, anyways, yeah, lots of training, lots of hard work. I just love the dedication there. All right, so the one short that we had, and we actually tweeted it out too, we're like, okay, this is the one short that we like. DraftKings, I don't know what was up with this 50-period moving average, but I probably have to look at it on eSignal. It's probably close to being right on a 1-minute chart. It's just someone dumped this early, and now that I look back at it, you know, we based out nicely there at 36. So the problem with this trade for me is, and here to admit it, you know, is we were looking at really only one way on this name, and it was short. It didn't really give us that until right where we are right now. So we got stopped out when it broke 350. That flatted the trade for us. So we were basically flat on that trade. And now we're in a losing position. So if this now breaks through 65s, then we're going to get out. That is the 200-period moving average. This is more, you know what, we could take a few more shares. Let's put some shares here at 62, see if we can get something there if it does pop up. But then our out for DraftKings, if you're just rocking with me here, is going to be 65. So if it breaks that, we only have 4 minutes left. That is that trade. Palantir, we have basically nothing left of Palantir. I'll probably exit it all right now at 44.80. Right now, as we're underneath 50 period, the futures are also underneath the 50 period moving average. Let's, you know what? Let me just get out of that right now. And I'm just going to review some of these trades because I know Neil wants to do the same thing. All right, so I'm going to cancel all my offers, put an offer out right here, see if we can get an 80. We put an 81 and it smashes through. There it is. We'll take an 81 right there. End the trade on Palantir. We are now flat, so that's going to be a big stock. We'll wind up making the same amount of money on SoFi that we wind up making on FXI, so that's going to be another positive name for us. We're going to go 5 for 5 today. There's FXI, boom to the upside. And again, these are all as it was written on our sticky note. So there's Tesla upside as well. Boy, oh boy, was that a great trade right there. Definitely made the whole day pretty much on Tesla there. But as I exit the Palantir trade, Palantir is your single stock #1 trade, P&L wise today. So if you add up what me and Neil did on Tesla, then it will break Palantir, SoFi, FXI, and then as you guys know, it's DraftKings Nation. And we'll wait to see what happens here as it's at the 50-period moving average. So I think it's worth a look.
Bit of a weird setup there. I'm going to get to, got to handle some business, but got to show you Tesla. This is a weird confirmation candle. Not really a setup that I usually ever take. I got in, I'm like, I'm not giving it all the way down here this time of day. So I took out half and ultimately was like, no, that's not the entry that I was looking for. So I did back away from it. I still think we're going to get some longs in there off Tesla. But it just did not feel right at that 263. It's the best way I can describe it to you. It just kept rejecting that price. It was a stack of sellers in the 80s and the 90s, and I'm not feeling it at that price right now. But let's take care of some business. Why? Because Firefly Neuroscience is taking a bold step in advancing brain health technology. In collaboration with Bright Minds Biosciences, Firefly's innovative AI-powered platform has successfully analyzed data from a groundbreaking phase 1 clinical trial using advanced EEG technology to track brain activity. This data unlocks new potential in treating neurological and mental disorders, reinforcing Firefly's position at the forefront of brain health innovation. As they prepare for phase 2, this partnership signals exciting developments for the future of neuropsychiatric treatments. Firefly Neurosciences, shaping the future of brain health. Shout out to them. Only 90 seconds to go until
GameStop is ripping. So
I heard GameStop, and I'm like, really? You know, it's that kind of a Friday, I suppose. GameStop up for reasons unknown.
I mean, there it goes. I mean, it goes up 50 cents right there. Nice move there for GameStop. And then we're also hearing that the apes are out right now in full force. And let's see what's going on with AMC. It looks like that's a nice little move up there. Look, I mean, even just 10 cents on a 440 stock is enough, I guess, to get our attention. But there it goes, there to the upside. I know, what a mistake there. I just said to Sharif here, because I'm going to be out of here in a couple minutes, I just said, watch out for that 260 level. So it just comes right in there, and it's just, anyone can see it. I just wanted to point it out right there. So 260, we'll see if it can hold. I'm bidding 260 quarters. I mean, it didn't get there, so no trade. But at the same time, I like it. If we can get it there, I think there's something to watch out for there for Tesla and that 260 level. So. That'll be it for me, man. We are out. We talked about being out of Palantir. There goes DraftKings, so we will have an L on the board right there. Oops. Well, it's a money day. It's a great day. But there goes DraftKings. It does take that out there on the top side of 36.60. So, hey, man, we tried DraftKings. It does look like a much better bottom than a top. So the DraftKings wrong on that one. And it just goes to show you, stick with your plan, because we know this too. We talked about it. We shouldn't be short a name when the market is up almost 1.5%. So a little dangerous there for us. We went against the grain, and we did get burned there on that DraftKings trade. But still, a big day here. Like I said, we're going to be up about what we were up there at the end of yesterday. So we'll see if we can continue that trend here throughout the afternoon. I'm going to go do a couple laps in the pool, come back, and then, we'll figure it out. After that, we'll clear our head, and we'll put some chlorine in it, and then we'll figure out what's going on into the after hours.
Once you clear the chlorine.
Yeah, we shower it up after that. Yeah. But, you know, my head going back and forth there. You always get a little extra in the ear there, you know?
I guarantee you're 1,000 times better swimmer than I am. West Indians are famous. I was born in the West Indies, but we're famous for being not very good swimmers.
Italians are really famous for great track athletes and great swimmers.
Oh, there we go.
You know?
I'll look, credit where credit is due.
I mean, everybody knows about soccer.
Italy they've been unbelievable in track recently. Oh, you know what? My wife was on a flight back from a business trip to, who was going from Atlanta.
Yeah.
And guess who was on the flight? It was Andre DeGrasse. Andre DeGrasse was on her flight.
Nice.
For Americans, he's the fastest guy in Canada.
We won the relay.
We won the relay.
Yeah, people
against you guys.
Anybody who's
y'all know what's up.
Track and field,
what's up, Noah Lyles? You know who Canada is now, Noah. That's what's up, Noah. He's like, who? Canada, who? And then we won the gold. But anyways, that doesn't matter.
I mean, Andre DeGrasse is faster than Noah Lyles when he has COVID. I mean, come on, the guy had COVID.
You see him come out of the guy gets introduced, and he's running around, jumping, going absolutely crazy. And then after the race, when he didn't win, he's like,
I know.
I need a wheelchair. Just take the L. Just take the L like you won a bronze medal with COVID.
I know.
Just take it in respect. Like, you know, you don't have to be that guy.
Palantir's back to 45 right now. So
okay, it's past.
All right, 11.
It's past 11. Let's go. We've got
11:02.
Satya. We've got Sharif. Go get him. Yeah, that was so BS.
What is up, beautiful people?